We'll send you over to Neil. Are you ready? We'll let Neil get ready, and we'll throw it on over to him.
Good.
I'll see you guys for being on, guys. Appreciate that. Jag, isn't acetaminophen and paracetamol the same? They're not. They're not similar, obviously. I think they're both analgesics, but double check that. I could be wrong. I know that ibuprofen is an anti-inflammatory. It's not an analgesic, right? So,
they're all NSAIDs to me.
Yeah, NSAIDs. Yeah, this guy, bro, he kills me with that. All right, guys. We talked about Duo. We talked about OLMA. We talked about our gels. We were involved in that. INHD for a moment as well. EQ. It was a small cap gapper day. We were in a lot of positions. Still ending negative on the day, but we're definitely off the lows. I was able to recoup some back from that big loss that I had on PAPL, where I got caught and hauled down. That is the cost of doing business with especially those ones that trade on the AMEX, where you can't see the theoretical auction price while it's halted. You're flying a little bit blind. That's a lesson learned for last time, or for next time, excuse me. And with that, we're going to send you to Neil. I believe he is ready. Obi will join him shortly. Take care, guys.
Yes. Whoa, I hear myself. Now I got to do this. All right. I was hearing myself in my ear, which, trust me when I tell you, it's not a heck of a lot of fun. We're in new digs, so if it looks a little bit different, maybe, I don't know, the lighting could be different. You won't be able to tell, but the screens that I'm working with, let's just say we got an upgrade up in here. A legitimate upgrade, big time. So we're in a new setting. It's, like I said, you guys shouldn't be able to tell. The background will be a little bit different. You can't, there's literally nothing behind us. We are just right behind where we used to sit. So if that makes any sense, there used to be like poles behind us. That was to hold up this rig. And what's going on right now is Open Door is open for business to the upside. It just broke the high of the day. The squeeze is on. The market is weak and Open Door is strong. And that's what it's all about. There was also a piece of news which I loved and probably only I like. And that is, sorry Nike, but Josh Allen has moved to New Balance. He's ditched Nike to move to New Balance, and we were just talking about how New Balance was better as well. I'm going to make sure I'm in the right chat for everyone that's in here. Jag, it feels like you're talking from an empty space. Well, we are making a lot of changes around here, and there is a lot of empty space behind us, but it is not, it's the black wall and all the black paint that just makes it seem like absolutely nothing. And then my program screen just went black, so now I have no idea what I look like. Not that I need to. What up, Obi? It has been a wild... What's crack-a-lackin'?
What's crack-a-lackin'?
You just say, what's crack-a-lackin'?
Yeah.
I forgot to put my makeup on. I'll have to get that shine off in a quick little second. It's Friday afternoon.
I just wipe my forehead usually.
You just do what?
I just go like that.
Yeah, that probably works. Hey, what's up, Fabian?
What's going on? Can I help you? I like that. It's a nice little rest on the wall right there.
Can you see me? Oh, there he is. I was going to say, I'm like, how come you're not in the shot? There's Fabian.
Captain America shield. I like that. Nice.
Captain America. I still haven't seen that Thunder. What is it called? The Thunderbolts?
Thunder Down Under.
Oh, Thunderbolts.
Oh,
is it good? Okay, I'm gonna.
The new Captain America's garbage.
Oh, that guy.
There's a new one.
Yeah, but he's in the Falcon and
there's a new actor for
with the red.
Yeah.
Oh, he's.
No, he's in the TV show. The new Captain America's in the TV show.
Oh,
Captain America wasn't the bad part.
Oh, what's wrong? I thought. Okay. Well, you guys tell me how the movies go. SDX1 literally just said you watched it an hour ago. So how was it? Let me know how it was. I'm curious. I'm gonna watch it anyways. That's the thing. I'm gonna pay money to watch it regardless. And Obi's gonna talk now for a quick little second. What am I doing?
Sir. Yeah, no, I'm just logging right back in here, guys, and pulling up the chat as well. I kind of want to take a look at this AVGO coming into the end of the session as of right now. Let me just pull this full screen. These new screens are pretty nice and crisp. But we're coming into the day's VWAP. That's the blue VWAP right here. So we did kind of have some interactions with the anchored VWAPs. From the from earnings right here. So that's when our earnings was, from the earnings report, and coming in pretty aggressively off of the open. But I'm looking for more of the same, Neil. I'm looking for those sellers to step right back in, and I think VWAP is a good place to look. As of right now, it's just consolidating sideways as I guess the market attempts to push a little bit higher. Let's take a quick look at what the spider is up to. right now. Spider, oh boy, to the downside here. So 652.21s, excuse me, were the high of day. And oh boy, what a 0 DTE crush for any sort of calls that were looking good coming into the end of the week. We had a strong bid Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So if anybody thought, oh boy, we're going to come in and close the week strong, not happening. Strong catalyst in the morning with the economic number, which gave us a bid, but that selling came in right off of the open for some stocks, and a little bit after the opening session, 30 to 50 minutes after for others. But there is a ticker that has been selling off pretty aggressively and making fresh lows, and also doing significant relative volume. I've said this about 3 times today, where if a Mag 7 stock is doing above 2 times the relative volume, there is definitely something going on there. That is not normal. It's either a catalyst, it's something or the other, but you can see just a technical push on Softy. That 500 breakdown finally came in on the day today with some distinction. We pinged it on Tuesday, and that didn't really sustain for very long as we reclaimed that 500 pretty much right away. You can see that happened once again this morning. 500 bounce, but VWAP sellers come in once again, kind of showing us that you know who's in charge, and continuation to the downside, looking distinctly different from the rest of the market is Softy right now. A little bit of a follow through of the higher time frame kind of trade we've been talking about here, which was the break of this long-term trend, and also the exhaustive action off of earnings that brought us into the downtrend break. So it's like, this is what we talk about. This is the trend break is the confirmation, but there's price action before the trend break actually happens, which might point you in the right direction of what is about to come. And I think that exhaustive action off of earnings was very, very telling. And we got that confirmation with a bit of trend break. And if you want to use horizontal supports and resistances, that 520, that 519 break as well, coming in really, really nice as you know.
I think we are ready to get our rundown on and see what names you are interested in or were interested in and hopefully still are, as Sharif is locked and loaded and ready to go.
Welcome to the Afternoon Rundown, everyone, the show where you decide what we talk about every afternoon. The big boys, locked and loaded. Obi in for Sean today. They're ready to look at the tickers as decided by you. But the only way to get those tickers on the top right of your screen is to get into the chat and vote every day. Super easy to vote. Throw in that $sign followed by whatever ticker your heart so desires. Here's a look at the major averages right now. The NQ down 0.5%, barely. The ES faring a lot worse today. In fact, losing 6,500, down 2/3% or thereabouts. With the Russell 2000 also flat, 0.1%. The Dow faring the worst of the 4 major averages, down more than 0.75%. But as has been the case lately, the number one ticker, as decided by you guys, Open Door, and another fantastic day to the high side for Open Door, up another 14%, 13.75, despite the fact that Andrew Left of Citron Research criticized the technology company on social media, calling it a stock promo and predicting failure. Despite this, we were up nicely in the pre-market, and we continued those gains, boys, into regular market hours.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of true, but not yet. Not failing yet. And that's the key thing. Momentum.
Momentum.
You don't know.
Where is that from? I know where that's from. I'm trying to remember where it's
Fresh
from.
Prince.
Okay.
John, rest in peace, John Witherspoon, when he was on the Fresh Prince show. He's like, you got to coordinate, but it's all about the momentum. So momentum is like, that's when like things like, look at AMD to the downside, which we'll talk about next. And then, like rapid momentum could mean something like that Palantir bottom that we see. But momentum is what happens when the shorts get what's coming to them on open. And woo, the lights just turned up in here a little bit. I know y'all saw that. It's just all the heat just came in as we turn up the lights because open just broke the high of the day. We'll just pretend that we did it on purpose because of this breakout. 14% to the upside. It is a pure squeeze play, and what a squeeze play needs is shorts out of pocket. And they got out of pocket when it held 5. They got out of pocket yesterday when it closed 6. Unfortunately, I bought the dip into 6 and let it go at 630, and now it's at 680. But I think this is the one, at least from what I can tell. Here's the other thing about Open Door. Remember when the volume was tapering off? Ooh, volume is creeping back. It's almost 500 million shares of volume today. And keep in mind, this is all at a higher price, right? So like the notional, it's increasing in volume as the price is going up. So this is more and more impressive to be able to do this kind of volume. It'll probably do 600 or 700 million shares today, and all above $6. So impressive run. I want to look for a dip, but I would look at about 660 to 670. That would be the area to look for a bit of a dip. I'm only in the one position, and that's NVIDIA off of like a 67 wall. And we're going to talk about that later.
Yeah, I think the picture on open is exactly that. Shorts are getting absolutely shellacked day by day. I think if you're looking to initiate positions here, and I'm talking to anybody who's looking at this as a potential swing short idea, sure, this time this high from I guess August 25th was quite nice. We did kind of pull into that $4 level, but that $5, I've said this a few times, the $5 is going to stay is a very interesting level when it comes to stocks, and it stayed interesting here on Open Door as it comes in, it kind of consolidates higher time frame, and then steps up a little bit higher as well. You can see how it's been setting up here on the daily as well. We talked about this being potentially a little bit of maybe a higher time frame liquidity trap here, where you had that initial push in July, which did get us all the way up to 490s. I think it was just shy of that, 497, yeah, just shy of $5. And we take a nice little pullback all the way down to 2, but a failure to follow through lower back down to where it came from, sub-dollar levels, and then you get a nice and slow, steady grind back up, back through 5. You do a little bit of a breakout of that $5 level, pull back in, higher low on top of the $4, higher low on top of the $3. So it goes 2, 3, 4, 5. Guess what? We blew past that 6 today, Neil, and we're stepping up even higher. So is this thing done? Absolutely not. Is there a backside to this? For sure, there's probably going to be a backside. Is it going to be anytime soon? I have no idea, but I'm patiently waiting. I know a lot of people who are just sitting in this long, and I like the long idea as well, very much so, and not going to touch this short on any time frame, whether it be intraday, daily, weekly, or monthly, until it actually shows me that it can potentially be there. Intraday, sure, I think there's scalps to be had, but it just seems like it's been a lot less forgiving just to stay long on this stock, bigger picture, and it's opening up to some interesting price action, which we could get if this thing really starts to get going and starts going parabolic. You think this is parabolic? You haven't seen anything yet.
You ain't seen nothing yet. I like that.
All right, AMD's next, guys, and what a tough day it was for some of these semis. Yeah, you've got the likes of NVIDIA down about 3% and change, 3%. AMD faring a bit worse, 6%. All on this. Yesterday, Broadcom reported earnings, and Huck Tan, the CEO, on the call said they're expecting a new client in addition to the 3 that they already announced. Widely speculated that it will be OpenAI, and they've secured what they're calling a $10 billion order for their custom AI racks based on XPUs. As a result, guys, they say now, and reflecting this, we now expect the outlook for fiscal 2026 AI revenue to improve significantly from what we had indicated earlier in the quarter. That's to Broadcom's benefit and AMD's detriment.
Yeah. And the answer to the question of what happens when the bid stops bidding, AMD. that is the answer to that all-important question. It's this doesn't necessarily look good. It didn't look all that good when there was a double top at a kind of an obvious level here at 185 on AMD. Didn't look all that good when someone was selling a bunch at $170. It certainly didn't look all that good when it made the lower high in here the last couple of days, and 162 to 164 ended up being resistance. Well, AMD fell apart today, and even as the market tried to bounce, it's not doing a very good job. We always knew this was going to be in trouble. One of the things you have to remember about AMD is this is, for all the hoopla and everyone talking about how AMD can grow to get some market share from NVIDIA and that they're going to benefit so much from this and all the upside and blah, blah, blah. They actually they actually still trade at a higher multiple than NVIDIA does. Like, that's the crazy thing. AMD is actually the one that's overpriced. It needs the growth even more. So when something like this, a story like this happens, it ends up being worse for AMD than it is for NVIDIA, which I got wrong, because I'm short NVIDIA and AMD is the one, clearly. So this feels like the same way it was a long till it isn't. You have 150, and then after 150, if that breaks, it's like it's a short under the 50 period until maybe it can bounce off the 150 area, maybe more like 148 to 150. So I think you're favoring this one to the downside, at least in the short term here, when it can possibly settle down. Big trend break already happened on AMD. That's not a piece of news you want to hear. And they're going to get beat up. And sometimes we saw days where AMD would go a bigger percentage up than NVIDIA. It plays both ways here. Unfortunately, today there just wasn't much of a bid.
Yeah, I think AMD was definitely the one to get involved with today. Didn't really have eyes on it, and this is what I was kind of talking to Sharif about as well, Neil, is like some of these technical breakdowns, if we see them coming in, like what is the best way to potentially be there first? You can't have eyes on everything, but maybe just having orders in at specific technical levels, just having them in there to be like, all right, well, if we're going to kind of continue this consolidation, maybe have a bid up here and maybe have a sell down here, 156, as you can see how aggressive and consistent the selling was once that consolidation low, or that prior low right here at that 150, let's get specific, 156.62. So let's go down and see what that 156.62 did coming in right off of the open. Now this is a 3-minute chart. We'll go straight down to the 1-minute chart. 156.60s, Neil, that price was printed right on the first candle of the open. And as soon as that consolidation low broke down, you can see that happens right here. That's 156.70s, 156.60s, roughly. I think the opening price was specifically 157.14. The first candle takes us a decent chunk of the move down, almost a 2% candle on AMD right off of the open, and then trades even lower on the second 1-minute candle. But I think the place to get in here was that VWAP. Sure, missed this initial push. Maybe that's what brings it onto your radar, and then you're like, all right, now we're trading below consolidation, below those prior levels. Where can I look for potential sellers to step back in? We know that chips are relatively weaker. We saw NVIDIA and AMD selling off with risk. I mean, compared to the market. The market was bidding up aggressively. So with respect to that, distinctly different. AMD and NVIDIA and basically the chip sector was. Sure, TSM, Micron, and some of the other, I guess, China chips were moving a little bit more aggressively to the upside, and they were distinctly different. I think VWAP was the place to get in. And that's confirming now when later on in the day, it comes back up into VWAP, bids back up into VWAP. Look at this hold of those highs, pretty much a flat top happening confluence with VWAP at that 153 here on AMD. So great reasons to sell throughout the day on AMD. Now we're taking a trek back up into VWAP. I don't know if I want to participate once again at VWAP, but it seems like VWAP is where sellers have been pretty much all day on AMD. Bit of a miss on my part.
Talk about PAPL next. So Pineapple Financial. So they're up big, at least earlier on, still about 52%. After the company closed, private placement for the purchase and sale of 24.6 million subscription receipts for a proceed of about $100 million. They intend to use that $100 million, boys, to launch a digital asset treasury strategy, much like BMNR and MSTR, into INJ. Under the terms of the securities purchase agreement, the company issued 7.8 million subscription receipts at $3.80 per subscription and 16.8 at $4.16. So good look there, but well off the highs.
I feel like the timing of this might not have been the best. I mean, we just had the entire group of these treasury plays under pressure. So expecting this one to hold up, I think, was asking a lot. That said, it's still up 50%. But overall, like, we're already on the other side of the V pretty heavily. It double topped, and it did so on decreasing volume, and now you have even less volume. All it's basically doing is holding on for dear life above $6, and I'd be a little bit worried that you break that down even. Volumes, like I said, volume's completely gone, but it was a 1 million float that has turned over like 60 times. So that's a lot of the reason why it goes. But once it unwinds, I think you have some fun with these on the first day when it goes, and try not to hit that multi-day home run for these treasury type plays. I just don't think that's been the way to go. But yeah, at least for now, you're holding on to $6. It's the only thing you got left, and you can see the volume is almost it's just non-existent at this point. Since I pulled it up, there's been like 0 prints that aren't dark pools.
Yeah, and you got to watch out for the squeeze on, especially something like this, right? Like, look at the action it's already shown you. Halt down, halt down. I don't know. I don't see any halt ups here, but maybe this. Okay, actually, this was a halt up right here. I'm pretty sure. But yeah, mainly what I'm seeing here is 2 significant halt downs on this stock today, and a failure to follow through on much lower volume. Failure to follow through lower. So, we talk about potential liquidity traps. This is starting to smell like one on the daily or on the intraday for sure. If we can't break down all the way back to where we came, then I think there might be people that are potentially stuck on this one here. And like you said, no prints going off. So if anybody got any significant size in and around this morning session, the first few hours, good luck covering in that lack of liquidity, right? So I think that's something to watch out for. I think it's a great lesson on the day. I didn't really participate. The long off the open was nice. I guess the shorts were great if you took them off as soon as like it showed you the buying's back in. Because again, shorting stuff like this on a first day, not really my thing. I really want to stay away from shorting something like this on day one. It doesn't even show me the market cap here, so no idea what that is. But this thing, absolutely no volume on average. So pretty crazy move. Don't know if you guys were involved, but hopefully you guys had a good time either way on Pineapple Express this morning.
Before we go back, it's the easiest market cap to figure out because it floats just over 1 million shares.
Oh, it's just 1 million. Okay, so
it's like 1.1. It's like 1.1 million.
See, I didn't even see the float.
So
there.
it's like
6 million float right now.
Just so like 7 million market cap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was 4 million. Yes.
So basically, like CD Lamb could buy that if you wanted to.
Yeah.
Just saying.
I'm gonna have to take that, Neil, because I've got nothing to. I got nothing to say back. All right, Palantir, guys, down on the day, down 1.4, but still trading within that range, 150 to 160 cents back in, I want to say, late August. But there was this headline today. Mark Benioff celebrating, says Salesforce beat out Palantir on a U.S. Army contract as a result of its lower prices and, according to him, proven AI solutions. So CRM up 2.5% after a bad guidance sent that one down after the earnings report, guys. But Palantir 1 1/3.
That's wild.
So, Sharif, I was just filling OB on what CeeDee Lamb did last night statistically. CeeDee Lamb for the Dallas Cowboys cost him the game by dropping 4 passes when I think he dropped like 7 all of last year. 2 of them coming in the fourth quarter on what should have been potentially game-winning drive. And they were like, and he knew it. The cool thing is, to his credit, he was accountable. He's like, I know I caught. He didn't just say I should have caught those balls.
Something wrong with his arm yesterday?
No. He literally said, I cost my team the game. And it's like, you know what? I always respect when you get athletes that actually answer,
that are self-aware,
self-aware, and willing to just be direct about it instead of give the whole, next time we're gonna give 100%, and we just take it one play at a time. We're just trying to make a play here, we go about this the right way, and everyone in the locker room is focused on the same thing. We all have the same goal out there, and that's just just to go out there one play at a time, and make sure we execute the coach's plan on offense and then again on defense. And then it's just like you literally, and I could probably go on for 5 minutes. Palantir, bottoming tail wicks every single day. It is absolutely ridiculous that it's still doing this. The accumulation that's going on in the mid 150s here is absurd. And it's nuts because yesterday was a really good bottom and I did not get it. I just didn't get it today. And the pattern has generally been allow it to fall because it's not closing anywhere near the low. That's what those bottoming tail candles will tell you. I kind of had the bottom, but I didn't really have the bottom because I didn't get the timing right on the one long I had. It's traded some other stuff like open, but ultimately almost every single time you're catching some kind of a bounce, whether it's extreme on Palantir or small or extreme. In this case, it's not even close. I think once, the 27th is the only time it closed on the low. And that opened up a gap and just couldn't catch a bid. But every other day, You're just finding a way to make a big bounce. This time it does close on the low, but most of the times if you catch that bottom, bit of a fail in the timing on my part there, because obviously should have done a heck of a lot better with Palantir. But as long as this pattern holds, now you can't be overly bullish when you see this, because it's not really going anywhere while it's doing this. It gets just a lot of accumulation. Sure, you're able to catch, if you're able to catch the bottom, you can generally hold it 7 times out of 10, but the other side of that coin is it cannot seem to break out above the high 150s. So it's a lot of sideways action, which requires you to deploy one strategy, I think. I would say you're just looking for that big bottoming tail and look for the long. And 7 times out of 10, it looks like you're going to be okay, as long as you time that entry right and try to hold it all day long. It's not incredibly exciting, obviously, when it's doing this, but for a day trade, there's some spots that you can make make some coin there.
I mean, Palantir has been giving solid opportunities for day trades. I think for the past few days, almost every day, it seems like. Sure, you had a little bit of a chop consolidation prior week going into the end, Thursday, Friday. But coming in, Tuesday, Monday was off. Long weekend holiday, Labor Day, but 150 hold as well coming in at the beginning of the week. And then look at this. Sell off, reversion long, reversion short. So the reversion of the reversion on Wednesday. And then again, on Thursday, a little bit of a bid break. You attempt to break the opening range. And then a reversion once again. And guess what? Today, Neil, strong sell off of the open. Sure, you might have missed that. But then a reversion back to VWAP off of there. So it's been a great trader, I think, in terms of giving intraday opportunities. Sure, we're kind of chilling sideways and just consolidating here between like 150 and 160s over the past couple of weeks here. You can see a nice little chop with an ultimate low sitting at that 142.35 from Wednesday, August 20th. So since that strong little flush that we had, the multi-day flush, the selling off, and that, I would say, a little bit of a capitulatory bottom on Palantir on Wednesday, August 20th. I'm sure. Do I have it? There you go. Boom. I do have an anchor there. I don't have a lot of anchors on this chart, but I do have an anchor there. We crack a lot of those levels today coming in off of the open, but we find ourselves with a bid 148 clean, 148.04s. Nice little double bottom here on the 15-minute chart as well. Talk about intraday opportunities and a beautiful reversion to VWAP and a follow through continuation off of VWAP as well. So Palantir, man, is the gift that keeps on giving if you have the right kind of execution set for some of these trades, the opening drives, the reversions, the level holds, the breakdowns, the breakouts. I think Palantir is a great trader, and especially on a day where it does relative volume like it is doing today. Sure, it's not doing 2 times or 2.5 times like something like that of Softy, but we're still doing 1.6, 1.7 times relative volume on a day which is not really strung with a catalyst. Right? We don't really have a direct catalyst on the day today on Palantir. We're still doing some decent relative volume. So stays like that, I think I do want to watch out for Palantir. And again, amazing day trader.
For NVIDIA, same headline that we really had for AMD. It is Broadcom's success at the expense of NVIDIA. NVIDIA is still a little bit above 3%, a little bit above that the drop of 3%, is what we reported to you last time. They're barely holding on to 4 trillion there, guys. 4.052 trillion now. Watch out. NVIDIA on the way down. I say that facetiously, of course.
You do, but it hasn't been good for them. As much as NVIDIA is doing better than AMD, the similar first step is happening on the daily chart, which is losing the 50-period moving average. I think, we all like NVIDIA. At least most people seem to like NVIDIA as a company. I have no issues with holding them in the long term, but it's just like it's taking the stairs down, and we took another step down. Early, not so good, but right now, what I'm looking at and playing off of is the low on the week here at 167 change has turned into a bit of a wall in the afternoon. And as long as it holds onto that wall, I want to be shorted. But if it breaks out that top, I got to get the you-know-what out of Dodge, because that's the thing about taking the stairs down is support turns into resistance, and if that breaks, you could be all the way up in the 69 to 70 range. So this afternoon, shorting off the 167 level and trying to scalp out as maybe a little bit better than some of the other chips is NVIDIA, and there's probably no other opportunity to say this, but we'll just throw it out now. CoreWeave going the other way, which is up. You know, the market's down. NVIDIA and AMD are weak. CoreWeave actually breaking out of its malaise, caught a similar bottom, and now positive. This one's trending in the right direction. Well, if you want, unless you're short. I mean, obviously, I always say the right direction as if its stocks should only go up, but I guess that's my bias.
All right, guys, listen up. Each year, 3.8 million concussions are reported in the United States. Yet, there's still no FDA-approved treatment. NYSE-listed Oragenics, OGEN, is changing that with its first in-class transnasal drug designed for rapid brain access. With the concussion treatment market projected to reach $8.9 billion by 2027, Oragenics is uniquely positioned to lead the way. Learn more and schedule a meeting today. That's OGEN on the NYSE exchange. All right, so NVIDIA here, yeah, a little bit similar to that of AMD. We are breaking down a little bit of consolidation lows, but it's not. It hasn't been consolidating as cleanly as AMD. You see that AMD was consolidating maybe for a couple of weeks in between that 160 to 170-ish, but you can see that coming in through this low, 167.22s. We talked about how AMD broke its prior low. Let's see how NVIDIA breaks its prior low, 167.22s. Sure, NVIDIA is going to be a little bit more competitive. It's going to be a little bit more choppy, a little bit more crowded. So that's something you got to watch out for. But you can see that once we distinctly start trading below, what was that, 167? So 167.20s. So once we start trading distinctly below 167.20s, which is in and around right here, we do start to hold that pretty well. You can see that resistance on 167s as well. So that support turning into resistance, another beautiful example of that, and maybe a little bit of confluence with VWAP kind of showing itself in the pre-market session as well. Again, looking distinctly different from the rest of the market because as you saw, the market off the open bid up pretty decently. You can see that right here. This was that economic number coming into the open. We bid up pretty aggressively, but NVIDIA didn't really have that kind of sentiment coming into the open. Sure, we did have a bid, but below VWAP and still holding VWAP as resistance as it had been doing pretty much for the majority of the pre-market session. Coming into the open, guess what? We see more of the same. Coming into the midday, a little bit more of the same as a little bit of resistance or chop happening in and around that VWAP on NVIDIA. So that's the look here on NVIDIA, and that, guys, is your rundown. I think brought to you by Oragenics. And
the perfect time to get a fresh start on what symbols are interesting. So you guys know the drill by now. Type in $ and the ticker that you're interested in. I'm going to restart it so that it's literally been open all day long. Open always seems to win this. So I'm going to type, let's say, I don't know. I was going to say OB as a joke, but I'll pull an actual symbol in there, and let's just go with Robinhood, because everyone seems to like Robinhood. And SoFi was making a big move. And Robinhood's already in #1, so I should have picked something else. Hey, someone type my name. It's not a ticker, so you're not going to have all these interesting, MSTR. That's something we have not looked at today. So MSTR is supposed to pick up. So everyone in the chat, and if you're not in the chat, you got to be a subscriber to be in the chat. So hit the like, hit the subscribe, jump in, let us know what you're interested in this Friday afternoon. And the reason why I picked Hood is someone had already asked, what are the odds that Robinhood is getting added to the S&P 500? We're going to find out who's going in. There's another edition. I think this one's for Foot Locker, and then probably whatever. It doesn't really matter. We don't know. It's all speculation. And every time that we guess Robinhood's going to get in, it doesn't. AppLovin's another one that's pretty popular for a chance to get in. And we'll find out it's usually like 5 or 6 o'clock or something when we'll figure out who the latest addition to the S&P 500 is. I have no idea. It's coming out today, right? Yeah, it should be tonight. I feel like it's not exactly at the same time, but it's always after we've done the market recap shows. It's at least 5 o'clock. I seem to find out on the train home. I feel on the Fridays when they're letting us know. So yeah, Robinhood, it's a possibility. The only thing that holds against it, you've already seen some other fintech names get in. It's like, well, how many are they going to load up on? But yeah, Robinhood, a little bit of pressure for most of the day today, but like a lot of stuff, it managed to catch a bit eventually. But man, that sell-off not looking Yeah, it
Fresh
looks
lows,
good.
yeah.
I mean, like, we'll see, and it's not going to be. Like, a lot of times, it's not something completely out of left field. It'll be a relatively mature stock, I find. You know, we usually have a pretty decent idea of what we're going to be looking at there. So Robinhood, I don't really see much of a trade here on this bad boy. And just to go to the higher time frame, like a lot of other stocks that we pointed out, like you had a big consolidation breakdown here today. At least Robinhood recovered the 100 level, which had been some support. So as long as it can hold 100, it's not that bad. But this feels like a stock that's maybe could use that good headline of the addition. I think maybe that's a thing that could get people going again. So I just actually reloaded into NVIDIA in front of that 167 level. It has wicked it once, but it feels like this is getting stronger as it goes in. So I should be scalping for less because it's putting in higher lows. Wally Sparks, I will eat an entire pineapple pizza.
Okay. Nice.
Hold on a second. I will eat an entire pineapple pizza while I'll wear like an M. I'll somehow put an M on one cheek and then, I don't know, A from Mullen Automotive on the other cheek. If Mullen ever ends up in the S, and I don't care. Like, I could be doing this show 10 years from now. And if Mullen, which is now, what are the hell they calling themselves these days? BINI, but it's what's the name of the company? It's BINI. No, but it's Bollinger Innovations. You know, whatever. I don't know what they're going with that. But if Bollinger Innovations ever ends up in the index, then I'll do all of that. Maybe I'll put a B in there somewhere. And I'm talking at any point. Like, I don't care. 5 years from now, 10 years from now.
They're trying to tell you when you
hold me to that nonsense. No, that's jokes. I'm just saying.
I think they're trying to tell you they might be telling you the strategy to use on that name when you hit the upper Bollinger every single time.
Just sell?
Just sell.
Oh, goodness. Oh, man, that would be
Just
hilarious.
sell.
Could you imagine?
The best swing short of all time. They go to zero, man. I'm telling you. Some of these.
Tell me that the market is screwed without telling me the market is screwed the day something like that happens. Because like the moment that something like a company like that could ever get in, two-wheel crypto, SoFi maybe, that could be interesting to see in the S&P 500. How about this? I'm kind of thinking we got to figure a few names. I like Robinhood, and we'll try to come up with 2 or 3 more as a consensus. Maybe
growth
even
names?
Yeah, just growth names, and throw some out there, and then we'll get a poll going by 3 o'clock that we can all pick who we think is going to go in, and we'll all make predictions.
Oh, for tonight.
Yeah, for who's going to get the addition.
Contenders.
You don't have to worry about Palantir, obviously, because well, they're already in. It's starting to go, but not a lot of volume, not going crazy. So I'm going to stick to GameStop. No, GameStop's not getting in there. Webull. I feel like Webull getting in before Robinhood would be a little bit weird. MSTR. I don't get it. Tilray says Rob over here. Yeah, so Tilray's not getting in the index. MSTR. I don't get that. I guess. Why not? But I feel like I can't come up with anything better than Hood. Reddit's interesting for sure. But anyways, NVIDIA just sort of scalping in and out of this one. The street says MSTR, says Jason. You know what? I wonder if Kalshi. Can you do this? Kalshi have betting on this kind of stuff? I should check that out.
I have no idea. But I'm gonna ask both Perplexity and GPT what the top contenders for tonight's ad are, and then once I have the list, because I don't know who's qualifying, who's whatever.
Oh, there is hold on. Kalshi does have this, I think.
And then from that list, I'll probably select something.
Well, let's change it.
I'll give them both the same prompts as well. I think the prompt that I used, I said, what are the top contenders for tonight's S&P 500 ad?
Forget about that, because we're in the back quarter of the year, so this is perfect. It's from Kalshi, and we're not sponsored by Kalshi, but they've got the odds on here. So what companies will be added to the S&P 500 this year? 63% chance in the betting markets for Robinhood, 39% chance for Carvana, and 30% for Strategy. They have not clearly updated from MicroStrategy to Strategy. And then it says 5 more. We have Cheniere as well. AppLovin. I'm surprised AppLovin is not higher than that.
Both of them gave me different ones. So
what the heck is V?
Hood AppLovin is in there.
Yeah. What do you have there?
IBKR, I think that was already done.
They're already in.
They're already done. Carvana?
Yeah, Carvana's near the top of this list.
So that was GPT, and then Perplexity gives me Strategy as their first one, MSTR, and then Robinhood, and then App, and then LNG. So it seems like this LNG keeps showing up here as well. Was it Cheniere Energy, Apple 11 Tech Software Energy, FinTech. Huh? I mean, they've been keeping Hood at the sidelines for quite a while. So I'll be surprised if they finally do Hood today, and that's going to be interesting. If they finally do Hood today, then that's definitely going to be something that's going to be tradable on Monday. Monday for sure.
So I just asked Fabian.
I'm going to go with LNG.
Let's go with, because these are the odds. So I think Hood, App Lovin', Carvana, and MSTR.
Damn.
Those are the ones we'll put in the poll for you guys. We just got a super chat, so I want to get to that if we can, rather quickly. David, happy Dave dumb trade of day. Okay. Well, it doesn't have to be a dumb trade. It could be a good trade. CoreWeave closes at 87.32. The matching mute color shirt's a little upsetting.
Bruh.
I mean, it's
mute?
not like
what's a mute color? You mean like beige? What the hell is a mute color?
We don't coordinate. It's not like we don't plan these things.
Yeah. Neil messaged me this morning. He's like, you better come in
it doesn't
wearing beige or you're not allowed on the desk. And I was like,
my bad.
Damn.
If that's what we care about. So CoreWeave. Sorry, we're supposed to be looking at CoreWeave here. David, you said you think CoreWeave closed at 87.32. That is oddly specific, and it is higher than that right now. So I guess you're looking short. You want it close. That's not an extreme close. You're thinking it pulls back into VWAP essentially. More or less VWAP. It's just a little bit. Get hair under VWAP is what you're looking for. All the market has to do is tick down. I mean, NVIDIA's coming into VWAP, so that's working out. The Nasdaq is. Why is that a dumb? I mean, look, it's relatively strong. Dumb is a harsh word. Like the Nasdaq's in a range and failing the top end of the range as we speak. NVIDIA's pulling back. It's not completely insane. It's not necessarily the one that I would want, but it certainly could be a little bit of something for sure. Ooh, that just happened. Tasia, I saw the same thing happen in open, but it's one thing to drop into the level. It's another thing to show me an entry. Like you can pull back and then show an entry here, like it shows you the long. So I want it to show me the long. Give me some kind of a consolidation because you've broken the trend and it hasn't really tested all the way down into 660. But like I'm looking at it now, it's on the radar. And for those of you, there's no shot now. You guys can't see what we're working with now. We've got these new massive screens, so like my charts are big and
there you go. There's a little bit.
You can see like it's all. There you go. It's kind of hard to tell because you don't have the reference of how much smaller our old screens were. But yeah, we're dealing with some real estate. So I have opened up on one of my charts here to be able to see. Always paying attention. Right here comes VWAP on NVIDIA.
Much more crystal clear.
Crystal clear.
These screens are for sure. Probably less smudges as well on the screen.
Are we clear?
I saw the bigger screens and I was like, oh boy,
crystal.
We're getting some new screens here for the main. I think it looks really nice. What, crystal clear?
Yeah. Are we clear?
Crystal.
Yes, crystal.
You know what?
If I tell you who says it, you think you get the movie?
Maybe.
I'll give you one of the two actors is Tom Cruise.
I'm so horrible with actors.
One of them is Tom Cruise.
Oh, is it Inglourious Basterds? No, he's not in that movie. It's not Top Gun. It's can't be Mission Impossible. Who's the actor again? Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. How about I give you the other one?
Mission Impossible 2.
How about I just give you the other actor? It's Jack Nicholson.
I have to look up who that is again. I'm sure I know the actor.
Jack Nicholson.
I recognize the name.
Yeah, Rob.
Oh, okay, this guy.
What do you mean, this guy?
You can't handle the truth.
Of course. Yeah. No, I don't know where that quote is from. Here's the thing, my memory's a little weird. So I have a very good visual memory, but I have trouble attaching names to those faces. So I guess
just looked up Jack Nicholson. I
know the name. I'm just like, of course I know Jack Nicholson. I'm like, who is this guy again? I'm trying to pair the. No, of course not. He's a great actor. Come on, he's an amazing actor.
Probably one of the greatest actors of all time.
Yeah, of course. He absolutely killed Joker. Like he was amazing at it.
He was great as the Joker.
Yeah.
I'm a little surprised. But I guess I feel like that's one of those movies that like the line is so like that one particular scene is so hyped up that most people know it. Anyways, go ahead, Adair. My bad.
I was just gonna say, I was just gonna add justice for Cesar Romero's Joker in the '60s show as well, because that was fun.
Fair. Yeah, shout out to The Departed. That was a good one, for sure. Jack Nicholson was amazing. One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest was pretty good too. Okay, well, back to the market. Brian R. not as good as Heath Ledger. He was unbelievable.
Oh, of course, yeah. When we're talking about the Joker,
Here's Johnny. You know that line?
Yeah, that's from The Shining. Yes, let's go. The Shining.
Let's go.
Yeah,
That's what.
which I recently saw.
Yeah, buddy. I don't know why I got so hyped.
I have a lot of.
It's just because
I have a lot of great movies on my to-watch list because I know they're great movies.
I don't know why I got so excited about that.
What's another
who
one?
Who the hell just said that core weave is? Oh, you said pumping, not tanking. Okay.
Oh, pumping.
David,
yeah, core
you
weave
didn't actually go short.
A little bit of a pump.
I hope
core
not.
weave.
I see Obi got one, and now we're excited for it. Mike Peter Ryder, Jag, you see this? Jag, back to the mood lighting. Jaguar Mining, the Toronto company? Is that what you mean? Mike, you can't be talking about this. Why would you be looking at a Toronto stock? All right, it doesn't really matter. Look at AEO, and just kind of going through the symbols that you guys are interested in. We got that almost in front of VWAP fill on NVIDIA. Ooh, American Eagle's going this afternoon. There's a little something that could be spicy, a spicy meatball. Okay, so what I love about Rob is Rob's doing a bunch of work around here because obviously you can see the lights are going on, and then Rob says, "Isn't that with Louis Gossett Jr.?" You're thinking of Iron Eagle. Back when Top Gun came out.
Yep.
You know how in Hollywood gets real damn lazy about stuff. So like someone makes a successful movie, and it's like we'll just do the same kind of thing.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. So when all that was going on and Top Gun
movie
was
industry,
huge, they're like, let's just do this Iron Eagle, which is a really fun, ridiculous film. Very fun and ridiculous film.
Yeah,
Hot Shots is pretty jokes, though. Ooh, I like this.
Oh,
Dinkelberg, would your quarterback ever let anyone spit on him?
What?
I'll tell you this right now. Josh Allen, he wouldn't. He would try to find a way not to get thrown out of the game, though, because he probably wouldn't let it stand. But before Josh could do something, and you know he'd want to do something. And for anyone that doesn't know, the best player on Philly last night in the NFL season opener essentially spit on the Dallas before a single play was run. He spit on the Dallas quarterback and got tossed from the game.
Good.
And the Dallas quarterback actually kept his calm and didn't get himself tossed in retaliation.
Yeah.
But Josh Allen would probably think about it, and then what would happen is one of his linemen would probably clock the guy, and then they'd get tossed so the quarterback could stay in the game. I'm surprised nobody did anything, but anyways.
Yeah.
Jalen Carter's a big dude. I probably wouldn't do anything. If that dude came up to me, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, you're like 320 pounds and you're a beast. I do believe we're going. Did I hear we're going to Adara?
No.
No?
Yeah.
Oh, I heard something in my ear. But we'll get there right about now.
Yes, right about now. Guys, so exciting news I have for Canadian sophisticated traders. From Beta Pro by Global X Canada, they've just launched 6 new triple leverage ETFs, offering 3 times bull and bear exposure to the S&P TSX 60, semiconductors, and U.S. Treasuries. Even better, they're offering a special fee rebate, dropping management fees to just 65 basis points until December 31st of 2025. These ETFs also employ currency hedging to seek to neutralize US dollar exposure, providing performance that may more accurately reflect the underlying US equity indices. If you are a tactical, sophisticated trader looking to amplify your performance, check out betapro.ca/3x daily to learn more. All right, guys. So I totally lost track of what we were talking about, but...
thank you, Mike Peter Ryder.
Yeah, Sigil.
Jag was a person in the chat. Sigil was the
Sigil.
name. Is this really Sigil? Sigil?
Sigil is signaling to the upside.
Concord International Group is going absolutely ham. I don't know what just caused the recent volume spike. I have heard nothing in my ear, which suggests to me maybe I do have it on. Yeah, I don't see any news going on with this. So Sigil,
I'm going to take a guess and say squeeze.
Whatever. Well, obviously it's squeezing. The float is, oh yeah, oh my goodness.
It's technical.
The float is 1.4 million shares, so regardless of what is happening, they've soaked the float for sure. Oh, yuck. What the heck is this? What the hell is even that?
That's the higher time frame?
This literally did this yesterday.
Yeah,
failed at exactly this level at 420.
And then coming in again today. It's straight squeeze.
That.
Somebody probably held on to that being like, this is going back to $1.50. It doesn't break down to $2.50, and they're absolutely screwed when the opening drive doesn't follow through this morning.
Shorts are so greedy sometimes.
Yeah, I mean,
got 420
here's
to
the
280.
thing. Swinging long is distinctly different from swinging short.
It really is.
It's distinctly different. It is a totally different playbook. Like, I love swinging short, but it is a totally different kind of playbook. But you know what? You can keep it simple. You can turn the chart upside down and just keep it that simple. But then again, if you're turning that chart upside down, Neil, there's no follow through today. So it's a little bit unlucky if you're sitting short from yesterday.
Well, unlucky.
There's the thing with first day runners, like shorting first day runners like that. It's just, I don't know. Some of them work really well, and others don't really as well. So there goes 440 on Sigil.
Yeah, and Pathic, I don't know why I just allowed this back. I don't know why that got blocked initially, that comment. Open, triple top break in motion. It's trying to go. I'm on the bid at 70s, trying to catch it on the way up here. But we got to Chase Driscoll. Thank you for the super chat. What's the technical on AEO worth a long at the end of the day here? I got that one up as well. If we're looking at names that could go. And obviously, like, it's trend up. The problem with that trend is it's getting a little bit steep and then right into, here you go. Let me zoom it out here so you can see. Like, it's getting steep and it's right into that last little tranche at the end of the day yesterday. And then at the open, like pre-market lows and kind of where it broke down, it's already up there. So this is really not a spot that I would want to join. Little bit extended here for sure. Like, again, like if it gets to, let's just say it gets to 19 and you're long in here, like, I don't know, I feel like you're not wrong until at least like 30s and 40s. So that's way too far to chase it, in my opinion. So I don't necessarily love it. I feel like if you get into this when it really breaks, like it's breaking out somewhere in here, like you put in some higher lows, you break the trend in here, you confirm there, that's a break, that's a good dip. Like these are all reasonable entries in there. Then this just feels like a chase with AEO. So not for me. But that doesn't mean it can't go. And you know what? It might not even be that bad if this stock were to not break 19 today, hold out, get a nice consolidative day, then you get a clean run at 19 next week. I think that could be a little bit spicy.
Yeah, I think the way that thing's been holding up, I like it for the multi-day. And it's already, like, are you swinging this name?
What?
AEO?
No, I'm not in.
Okay. Because I know there's a lot of people.
I know a lot of people have
who are in the name and are very active in and around it. I like it as well. I'm not in it, unfortunately, but it is working out pretty well and looking pretty nice as well. Since earnings pop yesterday, today, day 2, that 18 level holding quite well. You got that strong quadrunk off of the open, but a failure to follow through. That bid was held. Neil, we'll count the first opening candle as well. That bid was held for over 4 hours on the day today, and coming into the 5th hour of the trading day here, we are curling back up. So a failure to follow through to the downside, low volume, can't really sell off any more than it already has. Strong sellers off of the open, no follow through for 4 hours. Guess what? It's gone down, it's gone sideways, and it can't go any other way. It's only one way left to go, and that's up, and that's what it's doing right now. And up is what it has been doing over the past few weeks as well on AEO. So I do like it. There's, again, a lot of people that got involved on the initial push through, I think it was 12, 13s, 14s, and then I don't know if anybody got 15, but that earnings reaction giving us another move to the upside as well for the continuation. Again, this stock has a lot of, I guess, turbulence and a lot of chop to get through. You can see just looking left here on a higher time frame, it's got a lot of chop to get through. So unless we get above 26s.
So given that chop,
yes.
Which one, if you have to swing one at this price right here, right now, open door AEO?
Oh, okay, sure, yeah, but my risk is $9.
No, but like, which you have to buy one of them to
One of
swing
what?
over the weekend. Open door or AEO. Buy it now.
Oh, open door or AEO. Okay.
You have to buy it now, and you can't get out till Monday. Oh, obviously Monday. Let's say you have to hold all day Monday. How about that? Minimum. Which one?
You have to hold all day Monday. Okay. See how this is setting up. You know what?
Well, you think about it. I'm just gonna say open door.
Yeah, I just need to look at a few different frames.
I just feel like
I also would like to know how today closed.
I know, but like I don't want to give you that opportunity. That's too much information.
I want to know. Yeah, I want to know how today closes as well.
I want the one that's blue. It's blue skies as opposed to having the overhead resistance. That's why I picked open.
Yeah, no, that's fair. The only thing is, like, I think open it did have a kill candle recently, right? I think it was the one in July, right? This one in July. What an absolute. This funny thing. I was watching this in the morning session, and you can see I have my trend lines and my speed lines drawn. And then the catalyst comes out. Look at this clean break of the trend. Like I had these lines. I remember I had these lines in while we were still bidding up, and I never looked at it again. And I realized the day after that they did, I think, an offering or something at the money, something like that, something crazy underneath $5, and we got a straight quadroon, killing pretty much all of the action on the day and the stock as well, as it just bled off. But a failure to follow through. People thought that kill candle was going to get them back to zero, and it absolutely doesn't. So I think the run up on Open Door has been nice. I don't know. I like this story on AEO. And another thing, Neil, is Open is sure we have a little bit of we have a little bit of earnings push as well, earnings flush, and then we reclaim on that. But the thing with that differentiates American Eagle for me, Neil, is today was earnings day 2. And I think there's going to be a lot more fundamental and institutional participants on the stock if we sustain levels after earnings. So my pick is going to be AEO. I like the swing on AEO. If I were to buy something right here, right now, just arbitrarily, just throw in a bid. I told you already, my risk is at $9.
This is why I have Obi's autograph, because he actually gave like real analysis. I was just like, whatever, opens it. It's more of a blue sky setup. We'll just take that one. And that was the depth of my analysis. That's why you get an autograph from someone who's a legend like Obi. And then now I can take out some loans in his name. What should I buy?
No, don't do that.
So now that I have Obi's signature, you guys let me know in the chat, what should I go out and buy when I take out a loan in Obi's name? Because I got all your information, bro. I'm good to go. You shouldn't do that. Bill season tickets is Jake Roberts. That's a fantastic one. Yeah. Oh, you know what I got to show you guys? I meant to do this. After a bunch of years, we finally, we go to a lot of Blue Jays games. So we finally, in my daughter's room, encased some of her, I guess, like autographs. So she's got like Devon White and Pap Orders, center fielder and a catcher for us. She also got Jose Barrios, Steve Pierce, and then she has her Globetrotters ball, which she's a huge fan of. The coolest thing is she's actually really getting into the memorabilia thing. And this is now for me, because you guys probably don't care about this, but I'm going to show it. If you only get to get it if you have a daughter. My daughter got braids in with like the red because she wanted to look like the one from K-pop, which is the one with the red hair in the K-pop Demon Hunters. That's the one that she's in love with. So it took over 4 hours to put these braids in.
Wow.
And she did not complain. She did not
sat there for 4 hours, no breaks?
Yep.
You got to take breaks, no?
She's a soldier, man. Take breaks, man. You got to get that work, get it done. And so she was very happy afterward. And she wanted to pose for a picture. That's my lovely daughter. And she tells, so my daughter, she literally says, and she'll be like, okay, I want a picture and you can show this on the show. Like, she lets me know what should be shown. Oh, I was supposed to show something else. There's one other one. This was before on the first day of school. She goes, you can show them before. So she's got her Princess Leia, and this is the first day of school this week. So that was the difference. And now you know what my front door looks like, so I probably should have done that. Anyways, she does look like me. Isn't that amazing? Thank you so much.
I'm curious. I've got to ask. Is that you have a please knock painted on your door? There's definitely a story behind this.
Okay.
There's 100% a story behind this.
So we literally moved. We moved into a house because my daughter was born. Because I'm a condo guy. I didn't want the extra space and all the hassle. That's not me. But you're gonna need a family. You want
a backyard. You want to.
Yeah, you gotta have all that stuff, backyard, whatever. But then you gotta cut grass, which you can't stand. You gotta shovel driveways, which you can't stand. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But she was basically a newborn when we moved in, and so we disabled the doorbell and put a please knock sign because you don't want anyone waking up the baby. That's just par for the course, right?
Okay.
But the problem is, we liked it so much that no one was ever ringing our doorbell that we're like, just gonna leave it up there. So we never reconnected the doorbell, and you still gotta knock if you come up to my house. I love the fact there isn't a damn doorbell, and I almost never have my phone set to ring. I don't want to hear that nonsense.
True, yeah. You got a Ring doorbell? Oh wow, Sigel's going.
Oh, that's not
Sigel's
even. Oh,
blasting.
come on, Otto. That's cold-blooded, but you got me. Neil, you got that's a nice comment there, but it was Otto above. Your granddaughter is a cute kid. That's good. I'm not that old. I know, I'm not that old. But I'll show the good and the plus. Others think definitely 4+ hours, and that's each way. Like taking those out when they got to come out, that's another thing. And you can't have a party at my house and you can't find me. You don't know where I live.
Hey, there's a guy who is amazing. Do you know what this GeoGuessr is? GeoGuessr. So.
I feel like I don't want to know now.
There's this guy. So GeoGuessr is like you get an image of a place anywhere around the Earth, and you basically guess where on Earth that is, right? So this guy, he is extremely talented. It's like it's so crazy. So you show him so he's been so people challenge him, right? And he does this live, so you know he's not messing around. People show him a picture of a restaurant. And they're like, which restaurant am I in? And he will find which restaurant, and he'll be like, you were sitting. No, absolutely not.
He's cheating.
Absolutely not.
Oh,
the internet. I'll send you some of these videos. The guy's absolutely crazy. He'll see a patch of grass, and he'll be like, oh, I know exactly where this kind of grass grows. And then he'll be like this, boom. And he's so good at it. I forget what the guy's name is.
He's got to be cheating.
No, he's not cheating.
Like, people even learn like the type of trees that you need to know.
So the fauna and flora that are native to it's amazing. That guy
and all that license plates.
Calling cat. Where do I find the guy? Send me a link or something. We got breaking news from Adara, but somebody send me a link so I can watch.
They have world championships.
Adara, what's up?
We're getting comments here coming in from Donald Trump. Unclear if this is spoken or if it's on Truth Social. I'm just trying to look into that right now. But he just said that apparently Google is being hit with a fine from Europe, which we knew was going to be happening today, but as far as I know, it hasn't been announced. Okay, it is a Truth Social post. I'll just read from the post here. I just saw the headline and wanted to make sure we had all the details. I'm just going to read the post, guys. Europe today hit Google, another great American company, with a $3.5 billion fine. It's effectively taking away money that would otherwise go to American investments and jobs. This is on top of the many other fines and taxes that have been issued against Google and other American tech companies in particular. Saying that the American taxpayer shouldn't stand for this. Then he says that, as he said before, his administration will not allow these discriminatory actions to stand. Apple, as an example, was forced to pay $17 billion in a fine that he doesn't think should have been charged. He's arguing that Apple should get their money back for this fine and that Trump is going to be, quote, forced to start a Section 301 proceeding to nullify the unfair penalties being charged to these American companies. So it looks like Trump is trying to maybe get some of these fines for Google and Apple and the like nullified. If I have more details on this, I'll let you know. And back to you.
Very quick. I mean, I saw the bid come in there and got out of NVIDIA, though that's not an NVIDIA story. Google's not moving that much on that, and Apple's not really doing a heck of a lot. There was a small bump to the upside on that. Like, I don't know if I'd call it ripping because it was already moving up. Like, this is the candle on the news, and it's actually a red candle. We'd already moved about 30, 40 cents to the upside as the market was just drifting higher. So it's not a huge bounce, but I jumped out when I saw the bid came in. You get this bottoming tail was the reason. Like, oh, whoa, punch out. And the volume starting to come in here to NVIDIA. I wonder if that core weave is still going. That could be a little something. Could be that core weave. I know Dave wanted to be short. That's not doing anything. Uh-oh. Is that Kenvue story not real? Yeah, wait, so what? That Kenvue story from earlier, I just heard, Dara's probably going to have it exactly, but the earlier story in Kenvue might not be legit. That's the volume spike to the upside. Kenvue got absolutely smoked midday. If you're watching the midday show, then you would know all about that move. But now a bit of a bounce here, as it turns out, maybe. I just heard it in my ear. I haven't seen it in print. The story earlier was like there was a link Tylenol used to autism. Did not look very good. And oh, okay. Adair seems to have the story now because Kenvue's doing a ton of volume.
Happening here with Kenvue is apparently HHS, which is the Department of Health and Human Services, issued a statement saying that these claims about this report were speculation. So not really, I guess, a response, but definitely not confirming that they are investigating. Again, there was this report from the Wall Street Journal suggesting that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and his department, the Department of Health and Human Services, were reportedly trying to, I guess, look into ties between Tylenol and autism. Now, apparently, the HHS is saying that these reports are speculation, quote unquote.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Well, I don't know if that makes me want to just punch the long in that stock. Looking into it, that it's speculation. Doesn't look that good. Bigfoot, a good name. Why is Microsoft a dumpster fire today?
I got the guy's name.
CEO sold his shares, caused this dump. Well, remember the market's trending down, so they just the CEO selling shares causing this isn't necessarily the story. You got a couple of things going on here. One is Obi likes to say more sellers than buyers.
Yep.
Because that was the joke. The other thing is,
whenever anyone asks me, "Yo, what's happening here?" I'm just
Microsoft went from a program up move, right, into earnings, a blast on earnings that completely reversed. Since that day, Microsoft has been trending down. And if you have a look at where this was this morning, trending down, holding the 50 period, and so what happens when it breaks this consolidation at $500? Looks pretty technical to me. Like it essentially was doing the stair step to the downside, got to the sell point, the market turned and it dumped. And then when it lost its support at 500, it almost like it had no chance. Like other things could bounce because they found support. This couldn't because it lost support and play back in a prior high for the short. Microsoft is just in a sell mode right now. It's the faucet got turned off, for lack of a better word, on this bad boy. Let me just, I'm going to go back to NVIDIA for a quick little second. There might be a reload here as it comes back into that 67, the 167 level. So if we can get back at the 167 level here, I might get in one more time. Still not quite there yet. We're like the mid to high 70s here. I'd like it to, instead of getting in early, I'd rather it show me the consolidation. Every time up here, it's like bad fill, okay fill, should have been filled there. Bad fill, good fill. Like I want it to consolidate like it is before so that the short's obvious instead of just hoping that you're going to catch the top. I find like these, yeah, it works out because I'm just sitting at a particular price. It's kind of nonsense. Let it show me the short up there and go for that. We'll see what happens on it. But yeah, Microsoft, unfortunately, I think it looks technical to me.
Yeah,
that's why you get the bigger follow through was technical.
Yeah, if technical plus it's like it's been building up, and today was the day where you got the market tailwind. You had a bit of an outlier move in the market where you sold off again 200% of the opening kind of push, or not the opening push, the kind of bid that you had. You reverted it 100%, then another, I guess, measured move to the downside, and then a little bit more as well. You guys can see right here. This is what I'm talking about. If you were to measure this move from here, I guess you can just be like, all right, 23.725s all the way to 23.9s, and then you go 23.725s all the way to 26s, and then basically 23.5s. We came in and clipped or almost got down to 23.5s on the Nasdaq here, and then 64.50 on the ES as well. So yeah, strong flush down, and that definitely could be adding, or definitely did add to the aggressive flush that Softy had today, and it sustained. The thing is, it's sustaining the flush. It's just aggressive, sustained relative volume as well, maybe a little bit increasing relative volume as well. We're coming into 1.83 where we were averaging maybe 1.6, 1.7 for majority of the day, not necessarily including the initial pushes that was like 2.9. So nice little hold of relative volume throughout the day. I like that on Microsoft, and yeah, a little bit of a follow through, man. This is what I was talking about, I guess, a few weeks ago. I like the follow through that's happening. It's finally coming into fruition. But I didn't really have this trade. A bit of FOMO on my part. not necessarily holding this into fruition, but this 520 break was quite nice, and this consolidation for multiple days here. I think this consolidation started in and around August 21st, and I guess today is what? Today's the 5th. Yeah, today's the 5th. Of September. So nice little consolidation for many days, but lower highs and lower lows after a very, very strong multi-month bid. There was a 90 days. So from earnings to earnings, that's where this grinding bid was prior earnings that came out on April 30th, Wednesday, April 30th, 2025, after hours, and then coming in on Thursday, I guess Thursday, May 1st, you got that aggressive push and grind up since then. So it's a nice steady climb. If you're not counting the aggressive push and you're only kind of measuring the grind, we ground up 20%, 22% in 90 days on Microsoft. And then off of earnings, we got a 10% run. So it took 90 days to do 20%. And then overnight, we do 10%. That's 30% in 91 days. And then, a little bit of a pullback. I'm not saying, we were poised for a pullback, but you're going to do a little bit of an exhaustive move. Maybe you're going to find some selling coming in, and this is the follow through of that selling where the market is now showing confirmation that follow of the sellers kind of coming in here, all the way down below 500. So,
Nasdaq just went green just now by 0.02. Well, okay, now a little bit better. The futures are different from the Qs. Like the NQ is 0.01, the Qs are at 0.06. Distinction without a difference, but it's trying to break out here. Like this is an inflection point, like the whole green to red story here. And there was Salvador asked a good question in the chat. He's like, why short NVIDIA instead of AMD? AMD's weaker. Good point. AMD doesn't have as obvious a level as that 67 was on NVIDIA, but it's weaker, it's down 5.5%, it's under VWAP, so I could short it. The answer to the question is not necessarily, the answer is because I was shorting this level before, and it's more distinct. That doesn't make it the right answer, it's just the truth. Because I was short 167 4 times, and it worked 4 times.
Whoa.
But that's not the reason necessarily to look at it. It actually seems stronger here going into that 67 than AMD does coming into its resistance. It's like NVIDIA is going to get there first, and I can almost use what happens there as an idea of what to do with AMD at 153. Like if NVIDIA is breaking out, I don't take it. If I see NVIDIA slow down, I can take AMD. So it's a good point. That's a good point. So the answer was because I was looking at NVIDIA all day long. Again, doesn't make it the right answer. It's just the actual answer. Oh goodness. Someone just asked me about Northwoods Quantum. What stock? Check volume spiking on the 3-minute. What stock? Like the Qs? Is that what you meant? Like I was just looking at the Qs. I know it always makes sense to you guys when we're talking and then you ask a question, you throw it in the chat. But as I finish the thought, I don't know for sure. Like I was just talking about the Qs, but I also had NVIDIA up, I had AMD up. It's minor volume spike, I would say, on the Qs on this 3-minute just now, if that's what you're referring to. It's not bad, but it's not crazy. Like that's not really standing out for the afternoon. We're in a power hour where you could see some bigger volume candles in that, but again, nothing too crazy. If it was it was the market that you were talking about. So it's decent, but nothing that gets me thinking it means that much yet. If I continue to see it increasing in volume, maybe it gets a little bit better. But nothing too crazy there. It's just a slight move up and we went green. I'm still thinking I want to fade off of this high. It's going to be NVIDIA 167 or AMD at VWAP. And I can kind of just observe both of them and see which one I like better as you get into resistance. NVIDIA's right there, still trying to make a top. Here, I'll show you what I'm looking at when I look up. NVIDIA's there, is trying to make a top, and I got AMD, which doesn't have the same obvious level, but it's getting into a similar kind of top to look for that short. Chunk of all trades, Amazon is really not moving. Remember, it's Friday afternoon. Some stocks are participating in this bounce, others are not. Microsoft is not participating. Amazon is not participating at all. It could just be some exhaustion. This was really strong in yesterday's trade. For whatever reason, it's at a great technical level and not willing to go. That's why I'm not really paying much attention to it. Like, usually you want to bounce right into this prior high and go from there. It bottomed earlier here today and it bounced like you'd want. Now the market's trying to go and it's not at all making any effort. So yeah, it's a good technical level, but it's not behaving.
Yeah, I think I'm going to pack my patience here. I'm trying to look for the next trade. There's definitely trades that I've missed. I was looking at that Broadcom at VWAP a little bit earlier. I think I was still on the midday during that and didn't really take that trade, didn't really look at it after getting back to this desk. But AVGO, we were talking about, where could sellers potentially be? I even mentioned this. I was like, sellers, they've been at VWAP there, and do they show up once again? I'm looking for that, and I think I said that around 1 o'clock right there, but kind of took my eyes off. Unfortunately, as we hold VWAP, break the uptrend into VWAP, and then coming back down slowly into day lows or relatively closer to day lows than day highs for sure. But yeah, nice little push on that. Hopefully somebody kind of executed on that because I definitely did not, and I was looking at that as a potential trade. But I'm not gonna try to force something on it all the way down here. The trade was up here, I would say at that 340, and maybe even at underneath VWAP under 341s, and then yeah, 334s. That's about almost a $6-7 move from 341s, $7 move from 341s. So it's like, okay, well that's a nice little push down. Do we continue to push even lower into the end of the day? Maybe, I have no idea. But again, if I was in the position, I'd probably be holding it, but I'm not, so I'm not really going to take a look at this at all. That sigil that we were looking at, kind of a little bit of a fizzle here of that bid. $4.54 was the high. Prior day's high was $4.74. So I was looking at this and I was like, okay, is it going to squeeze? Is it going to squeeze? We're already starting to squeeze. Is it really going to squeeze?
Yes.
And it pops and drops all the way up to $4.50. So not really, like, yes, we did squeeze maybe $1 for $3 stock. That is pretty significant. But again, this thing is maybe still winding up, maybe still has a lot to go. I'm curious now, do we hold this consolidation from prior day? These consolidation highs that pretty much lasted all day after the first flush, 338. So you can see that same level coming in today off the open, maybe getting more shorts involved for a day 2 flush, maybe in the pre-market as well. Look at this consolidation right here. Someone's definitely doing some volume in the pre-market. I guess it's so funny. Someone stepped in here. You can even see where potentially somebody stepped in, Neil. You look at those R-vol. So it's like you can't really see anything on the volume itself, but relative volume jumps up from 5 o'clock all the way to 6:42 down here. So relative volume. So in the chop, somebody's definitely doing some business in the chop here, and we can't really get anywhere away from that. Now, I'm not really speculating as to whether people were buying or selling, or maybe a little bit of both. I don't really care. The fact of the matter was, business was done here, volume was done here. There was liquidity that was transacted with a little bit of significance at these prices, and then we can't really get lower than that. We break back above all of those. Nice little push and step up on sigil on the day today. BBAI on the move, a few people saying as well. So BBAI, let's see this one. Yeah, a little bit of a move. $5, another stock that's dancing with that $5 mark over the past, I would say, couple of weeks, but I haven't seen that far back on the chart just yet. Okay, so just a week or so, I guess. But coming back in, this is nice. Big Bear AI. Oh boy, I wanted to be on the backside of this one. It seems like I might missed it by a couple of weeks. I did have this trend break in. Here's the thing about
that already broke.
This is the thing about the trend break. It's like, yeah, the confirmation execution is here. Maybe the risk is here. Maybe you want to give it a percent a little bit higher because you want to, compensate for potential wipes or false breaks. But regardless, we make lower highs and then finally bleed down after earnings. So post-earnings confirmation happening here at that $6 level on Big Bear AI. Finally catching a little bit of a sell. You can see I have all these anchors here as well. We were finally trading distinctly a little bit below those levels. But $5 remains interesting. What's going on, Adara?
Keep an eye here on the market. Financial Times reporting here about that deal that was signed between Trump and, the U.S. and Japan yesterday, Trump's trade deals. So we knew earlier today, Howard Lutnick, U.S. Commerce Secretary, already indicated this, but Donald Trump is going to be able to, I guess, direct Japan's $550 billion investment into the U.S. as part of that deal. So Japan has to invest just over $500 billion in the U.S. as part of their tariff deal. Now, here's the caveat that was just reported here by the Financial Times. Apparently, Japan has only 45 days to fund projects that are selected by Trump, and if they do not start funding these projects in 45 days, they will face reimposed high tariffs. So Financial Times reporting that if Japan does not start investing this money very quickly, they could actually face higher tariffs even after this deal was struck. Back to you.
Ooh, not good for them. But Fubo TV seems like it might be making a bit of a top and tail up here. I saw a lot of people in the chat mentioning this one up 7 points, not bad, but it's at the vaunted $4 level. And you know, you don't break 420, then you're not a breakout, right? I read that rule somewhere.
If you don't break 420, are you really getting high enough? That's the question. That's the real question.
Well played. That was well played, sir. I got to give it up for that one. That was pretty good. I should have had that myself, but I didn't. Anyways, Fubo. Big, kind of a afternoon volume spike here. You can really see volume came in, pushed it past $4, and it's completely stalled out. It's almost doing nothing now with a held bid at 401 with no size on it. I'm kind of thinking, first of all, can we even short this? We can. So because we can short it, well, not because we can short it, but with the volume tapering off like this, I usually want to play it in the other direction. There's overhead resistance on the daily chart. So I'm going to look for this. AEO's not really, well, AEO's actually breaking out, by the way. AEO is going. But in terms of a fade play, I might have missed the turn on NVIDIA while looking at AMD. But if this doesn't pick up in volume, I might short a breakdown through that top. But just to go back over to AMD, I just saw NVIDIA pulled back off of that 167. So here's AMD into resistance. I was like, okay, well, if NVIDIA holds that 167, then I go over to AMD, which looks like it's happening right about now. So local highs at 153.20-ish. I can just put my stop in-ish, not exactly at 153.20. I'm trying to get short here in AMD. If we can't get this one, it's adjacent to VWAP. It's not exactly at the volume weighted average price, but it's pretty close to the volume weighted average price. What's crazy is like these screens are so much bigger, but they also go like right down to the bottom of the desk. So I have to make sure like my teacup isn't in the way. I can actually see everything that's in my screen. Well, that accelerated rather quickly. I was just trying to get more shares, and I reached for my teacup, and AMD just dropped 25 pennies. All right, so that's happening as we speak. Rogelio Concepcion, Blue Jays over the Yankees. If you're asking that question to me, I am always picking my own team, which is the Toronto Blue Jays. Jays are not only going to beat the Yankees this weekend, every single game, or at least 2 out of 3. We're going to make sure that we go to the World Series, and they don't. Because we're in Toronto, so I'm a Jays fan. Lifelong. I've been a Jays fan since I was a kid. First of all, shout out to the chat here. Sean Drake, though, fall CoreWeave. So first of all, David, did you actually short CoreWeave? That's first. Still want to get more shares of AMD here.
CoreWeave short?
Well, we got the super chat. He said he called it the dumb trade that we're going to close at 87.32, right? I think that was the 87.32.
I would like to know what kind
here.
of information you have.
That's a $2 move from here, and it's relatively strong. But it's kind of breaking. It could be rolling over.
Here's the thing:
I'm not doing it, but
if you're looking at it from like a trend perspective or a mean reversion perspective, maybe you're saying it's going to come back into this trend here, right? Just very simply being drawn. But yeah, no, I'm curious to know what kind of information do you have? What kind of confidence? Like this is the chart that I'm looking at right here. So just drawing a simple 1.2 point line from the 2 prior lows that we've had. Consolidation, that's where the bid comes in. This is where the bid comes in. Making sure that the points on my trend line have some sort of significance. So the trend line means more than some arbitrary random trend line that are just connected by 2 random candles. But yeah, just I think that this push back in, maybe if that's what you're looking for, that'll bring us into 88s. If you're looking for 87s, bro, that's the back of this consolidation. Are you looking at this horizontal support to potentially come in? I'm questioning. I'm just like, all right.
I mean, it's working.
It's working, sure. But it's like if you're so confident in that pullback coming into the close, the question becomes what kind of data do you have to support that? Because, yeah, sure, you can be like, this is pulling back. But I can also give it a counter argument and be like, we finally reclaimed opening range low going into the last half hour of the day, or the last hour of the day. So this is where buyers were in the opening session, and sellers definitely came in and took over very aggressively. But we slowly bid back up. Buyers were very much in control for majority of the day since 10:45, and now we finally reclaimed opening range lows. Where there was a little bit of chop. We're also above prior day's end of day consolidation levels as well. So I'm more, I guess, in the sense where I'm not taking anything here because it's probably going to close in and around some of these areas here. It's just going to probably just chop around here. There's too much, I guess, in the way, in my opinion, for this to really go anywhere. But I'm curious to know what kind of information you're looking at to make that kind of statement here so confidently. I have no idea, but I didn't really see the chat. But we'll keep an eye out on this one. Hopefully it works out for you. Hopefully it does come down. But I'm curious. I'll be watching this one. I do like the short on CoreWeave, but that was this morning. Let's see if we can close a little bit to the downside here as well. What's up, Adara?
Just be aware here. Interesting post on X. CNBC correspondent Eamon Javers just posted on X, and I quote, "Stand by for Fed news." Unclear what that means or what context, but just be aware. Looks like we could get something about the Fed coming through. I, of course, will be paying attention, and I'll cover that for you guys if we get anything. Over to you.
I feel like the market recap show is about to get a little bit more spicy here. Throwing in Fed news. Unfortunately for everyone, I know we've kind of teased it. We are going to find out who's being added to the S&P 500 tonight, but I can't think of a time that it's happened before 5 o'clock. So it's more one of those, we'll know coming into Monday, and you'll know before you go to bed tonight who gets the nod, but we're not going to be able to know in the market recap show. It's an interesting thing is happening. The market continues to go up and went green. And you know what? Who was it? It was Sebastian. Was it Sebastian or Salvador? I think in the chat that was like, "Why wouldn't you just short AMD instead of NVIDIA?" Well, good call, because NVIDIA is right back into that 167, and AMD is still curling. Now, how long AMD can go down while this is breaking out and the Nasdaq's breaking out and the ES is breaking back into VWAP, I'm not sure. I don't really think. Like at some point, the bid should come in. I can't see NVIDIA breaking out and this doesn't catch a bid. And remember, it's also 3:30, so we're getting on in the day as well. So I'm kind of finger on the trigger if I see anything remotely fishy. On either of those, like a big volume spike up. On NVIDIA, I'll probably punch out, or something nuts on the bid, I might punch out of this. But thank you for the super chat. Mark the Realtor thinks it's going to be MSTR added to the S&P 500. MicroStrategy was up there. I think it was like 3 or 4. I think it might have been 4th on that Kalshi list that I pulled out for the addition. It's a chance. I mean, they got a chance, but they were not the number 1 on the list. That's for sure. Robinhood, I think Carvana was even ahead of them in the betting markets right now.
Was that other one? Not LNG. The energy one.
The 4 were the biggest.
LNG
4
was
were
LNG.
Hood, App, Carvana, and MSTR.
Yes.
I think, and then there was something else.
This LNG, this is Cheniere Energy. Yeah. I think it's going to be the LNG. I think that's just you asked which what would I put my money on? I'd probably go with LNG.
Well, let's go to Adara, and then we'll also find out which one she thinks.
Yeah, I just want to let you guys know here, we have posted our daily and weekly calendars here on X at TTV Research. So here's next week's calendar. Lots of economic data. We'll get PPI on Wednesday. Not usually before CPI, but it is next week because then on Thursday we'll get CPI. So PPI Wednesday, CPI Thursday, a smattering of earnings in between. But one thing, too, that I really want to mention of importance here is our daily calendar for Monday. Now, Monday is pretty ho-hum when it comes to economic data and earnings, but we have the Goldman Sachs Communacopia Conference. I apologize there for that typo. I have to also fix this. But yeah, so Autodesk, INTC, Intel, NVIDIA, SMCI, Snowflake, SoFi, Twilio, Uber, and others will be at that conference. I will be changing this to reflect the correct name of the conference there. Check this out on X at TTV Research. And back to you.
Thank you, Adara. And just I think it was someone in the chat just asking, Steph Furness in the chat just asks, is it only being 1 added, 1 being removed? Is there potential for more changes? For now, it is just 1, but so most of the recent changes have been like buyouts closing. So a company in the S&P 500 gets bought out. When the deal closes, they're delisted, and so that someone else has to come in. So there's probably going to be at least another one coming up at some point at the end of the year or early next year. There's a few deals, larger deals that still have to close, and so you should see something. But for tonight, it's just one that I'm aware of. That's a good one. Prodman in the chat said Neo. Yeah, that's not happening. It's NIO is a mortal lock not to get added for sure. What else we got here going on? Mr. Westermeyer. Oh, yes. I love a good apple fritter. Casey's was where the apple fritter I got you on my wedding day was from. It's a great company and stock. For anyone that doesn't know, Mr. Westermeyer, I call him Mr. out of the utmost respect, got us our magic 8-ball. Came here and visited us. We have a friendly bet every time. Every time the Bills play the Chiefs, he's in the Midwest. We have a friendly bet every single time. We'll do it again this year. This time we're going to get the better of you, obviously. And yeah, on his wedding day, he sends me a picture. I get a message. I'm like, it's email over the weekend. And it's a picture of him dressed to the nines in the hall with a gigantic apple fritter. And he's like, I just had to show you. And I'm like, that's the coolest. He literally took time out on his wedding day to send me a picture. And it looked like the greatest fritter ever. Oh my goodness, it looked so good. And for anybody who
this was from where?
Casey's.
Casey's.
And so if you're just tuning in now, I absolutely love pastries. Like I have problems if you like put pastries in front of me. Like I don't have, like I'm pretty disciplined when it comes to eating, but then most of that has to do with knowing just certain things that I don't do. I don't go into pastry shops. I don't go into Tim Hortons if I can avoid it because I will come out with pastry.
I love going to bakeries.
That's my problem. I
love going to bakeries.
Oh my god, it's so a problem. Good. It's so good. Oh my goodness. So oh yeah. And now I'm already hungry.
Casey,
lunch was okay today, but the sandwiches, it was okay. I had like an egg salad that was a 7.
I like the sandwiches. I think I had the turkey and the chicken.
See, I wish I had gotten. With a salad lunch, we don't get to pick. I get what I get on my plate because it's set aside.
There's probably sandwiches.
But everyone else got to choose which one they wanted. So I just got the one with my name on it instead of grabbing something else. So, anyways, that is.
I front ran everybody before the bell was even rung. I kind of like snuck a couple. But I had to be on the midday show. I was like, I'm not waiting for the bell to come.
Raquel's nice like that though. She knows.
I usually tell her, I'm just like, hey, I kind of opened up and took some out.
All right, the market's coming back.
Apologize.
Who's the idiot who said the market was going to close green and just jinxed it for everybody? Fire that guy.
I mean, you think the market's going to close green, bro?
I literally said the market was. Well, I said the market has a chance to close green, and it got green. It's not
you're talking
now.
about yourself. I thought you were talking about someone.
Oh, I always say that when I always say that when I jinx it. Yeah. No, I wouldn't call
calling an
somebody else
idiot in the chat. I'm like, bro.
Me. I didn't log anything though.
Be nice to yourself.
No, I have a tendency to jinx things like that. So the Nasdaq, I just said the Nasdaq went green. I didn't necessarily say that's a fishy. So anyways, they get filled? No. So I did say if I saw something fishy on NVIDIA that caused a bounce in AMD that I would get out. Well, the market's pulling back in and NVIDIA regained the 167 and buyers came in at 152. So I'm like, we'll just get out here. It's 3:30. It's that time of the day where I'm usually wanting to wrap up. So NVIDIA pretty good. AMD was actually better. And NVIDIA now looking relatively strong at that 67 level. But the futures are rolling back here a little bit, Obi. And that run to close green is in jeopardy. But you never know. There's always the imbalances. Oh no, where'd my locator's gone. I got to refind it. I knew that. So I had to redo my whole layout when we moved the desks, just shift things around. And apparently my balance locator. I knew I wouldn't have to look at it till about 3:30, and now I got to go find it. It's all messed up? No, it's around here somewhere. It's just.
Oh, because you have multiple ones.
Because I have like 4 screens. So when your layout, it's like, this one, the stuff that was on screen 1 ended up on screen 3.
You want the Nasdaq one?
And I have to go find my I have it open somewhere.
I have my Nasdaq one up.
I'll find it. There it is. I see. Right, I got it. It didn't take very long. It took me a couple seconds. There's an early look imbalance to sell on Kenvue of 2 million shares. I'm glad we didn't go long that. BAC, 1 million to buy. That's not a lot. GDX, 1 million to the sell side. So kind of a nothing burger outside of Kenvue. although Kenview tends to have imbalances literally every day, down 10% on that news. That's the thing. Like, I always write off the imbalances, because if you just rewind the tape 24 hours or go back 2 days from now, you'll probably see Kenview up here a bunch, and it never seems to mean anything. So I wouldn't pay too much attention to it. That sigil, though, the number one name, I don't know if it's really sigil, whatever. Number one name on our stock visualizer all afternoon.
Open door. Oh, sigil.
Sigil.
Open was at the beginning earlier.
420. It's there.
Oh boy.
It's at that price.
Back. It's back again.
It's the Concord International refuses to give up. Well, it was at 420 when that last updated. It's rejecting 420. Uh-oh, this could be the turn. I didn't pay for locate, so I will not be shorting it here. Plus, that's probably suicide. Like the riders looking at this name.
Yeah.
It's not free. This seems like it still might be a little bit strong, but it is rejecting 420 for what it's worth.
Yeah.
420 always seems to be a level.
I mean, it is, I think after COVID, it did very much become a level.
100%.
Very much became a level. And 100%. Here's the thing: as skeptical as you might want to be, it's like, are you listening to the market? And you're going to agree with me with this as well. So many stocks over the past few years since COVID, 420 has been something of a significance. But the thing is, if it's there, it's there. If it's not, then it's not. That's how any level is in the market, right? It's like, oh, I like 350 on XYZ or whatever stock, not block, just an example stock. But if I like 350 on that, if I like it so much and the market doesn't show me that it's significant, then I can't be giving it any significance just because I like it. But if it's showing you over and over again, then what are you really arguing with? And 420 has been something like that where, yeah, even on small caps and large caps as well. We saw the 420 kind of a little bit of a shake on that Tesla. I was on the show. Remember, I was like, what if Elon posts a reserve order on 420? And guess what? There was a reserve order on 420 for a few seconds. So I'm like, okay, all right. Well, it didn't.
Elon would sell at a price like 420.
Yeah.
We got to get to the desk. Dara has something for us.
We got that, I guess, Fed news that was teased by that CNBC correspondent, Eamon Javers. CNBC just posted on their X account a article by Eamon Javers. I have to read through this, but it does have to do with Fed's Kugler and apparently, I guess, some mysteries, quote unquote, related to her resignation. Apparently, she has some questionable real estate records. I'm just reading the headline here. I need to read into this a little bit more, but from what I can tell here, apparently, there are some, I guess, when they reviewed her financial disclosures, it shows descriptions of her personal residence that apparently do not go together with one another. For the record, apparently Kugler has denied this, saying that the apparent inconsistency is, quote, the result of an error made by county tax officials. I'm reading through this right now, but in case you guys missed it, Adriana Kugler was that Fed that resigned a little surprisingly and then also was not present at that July meeting. I'm going to read through this and I'll get back to you guys with more details.
Yeah, thanks, Adara.
Thank you very much.
Kind of thought maybe it would be something else, but more drama with the Fed. You just know the bond market doesn't like that, that's for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, traders, listen up. First month is free. That's right. We are waiving fees so you can trade smarter and not harder. So upgrade to Elite. Analyze, strategize, and capitalize. Our platform, it's everything. Infinite data, instant trading, lightning fast market insights, game-changing charts, predict with backtesting, reliable real-time data, global markets at your fingertips, all in one platform, so don't miss out. Execute your best trades now. Ready to elevate your trading? Scan the QR code or check the link in the description. Friends at eSignal will appreciate your attention there.
It's free.
Yeah, exactly. So I was talking to Sean about this as well. I've seen like really old pictures of you guys from when you first started trading at the floor with eSignal charts on your screens.
What pictures did you see? Hold on a second. What picture?
I've seen a picture of I think you might have been in the background, but Sean is at his desk and you can see eSignal on the thing.
That thing from St. Clair?
Maybe, not this specific.
You have pictures from St.
I don't have the pictures. Oh. Sean has shown the pictures.
Oh, I think
I've seen the pictures.
I know the one. I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, and I've seen pictures of you guys on the floor as well. I mean, there was. Well, you were sitting beside, like, in the same row as Greg, and yeah. We gotta go back and look at those.
Let's go back to it there. I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, I've had a lot of fun reading through this article with regards to the Fed's Kugler situation. In case you missed it, there are now some reports talking about mysteries with regards to Fed's Kugler's resignation, and it's not as, I guess, cloudy and shrouded in mystery as it might seem. So I read through this. In case you guys missed it, this is a little bit more on watch because Fed's Cook has been accused of mortgage fraud, and now there's reportedly a DOJ probe into the situation. So Kugler's issue was not about mortgage, it was about real estate records. Apparently, there was an inconsistency in how she filed her real estate records. So her government ethics financial disclosures listed a mortgage on a personal residence, but apparently state records for that property indicated that that was not her primary residence or her principal residence. So either way, like, that doesn't really mean much. Apparently, it doesn't necessarily suggest impropriety or any bad intentions, because something can be your personal residence and not be your principal residence. With that in mind, there's also the issue of the fact that she said in her resignation letter she was going to go on to teach back at Georgetown University. There is no record that she has gone back to Georgetown University, and her Georgetown University website page still shows that she's on leave from the university and an active Fed member. So there are, I guess, some questions being raised here. Either way, it does seem like, as she said, this is likely a county-related issue. She says in her explanation that she did file a change of address with the county, and then the county responded to CNBC saying that they don't actually have the ability to change these residences. Either way, I'll stop getting into it during market hours, but interesting stuff, and I'll go back to you.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, if she's out, she's out. The real question becomes, I think what'll be interesting is when we start to see some replacements in there, like what more are you asking for? We got some hints today that you could see 50 basis points. Like, that's one of those, I should double check the Fed watch before I actually just verbatim make the assumption. Okay, we're back down to 10. So like I thought it was a little bit higher earlier, but we're now, instead of 100% for the September meeting that we're gonna be quarter point, it's now 90% quarter point, 10% 50 basis points. That's shifted. Big shift after the numbers this morning. Weakness in the job market. I think that's the big deal, was that continued weakness in the job market. So here, I'll show you the first things first. First things first, I got out of AMD to watch it do that. Like, well, maybe NVIDIA is still at 167, and NVIDIA, I mean, it's not really a trend break, but it did fail that 167. So when I missed that AMD, I punched into NVIDIA as it was breaking down, not really going anywhere. NVIDIA might just be a little bit stronger than AMD. So yeah, kind of jumping back and forth. Could have just stuck with AMD for sure. NVIDIA barely moving back in. With only 7 minutes to go till the imbalances come through, it's still just Kenvue and GDX and BAC. So a bit of a nothing burger. There is the Foot Locker deal is closing today, so there is potentially, like, if you see a gigantic number, if FL shows up for a gigantic number, the deal is closing today, but it's an all-stock deal, and I don't even see it on the early look. A lot of times, if it was going to be a huge sell on a New York name, you'd already see it. So that might end up being a bit of a nothing burger. The only new position is just right back to NVIDIA. Kind of the only things I've been in is NVIDIA in front of 67 and AMD as well. Bernard, is this a good point to load CRM? It's hard for me to say yes when I bought at 230, just above 230. Because to me, the place that I wanted this was when it confirmed the low. Like, there's your bottoming tail candle confirming the low, and then get in. Like, that was where I bought, and it managed to hold on. You know, what wasn't the best earnings in the world, they managed to hold on to the level. Personally, I wouldn't be buying it this close to resistance. This respects the 50-period moving average, and it has been unable to break it. Personally, I like the long into it, and then you're 10% in the money and can make a decision as to whether you want to hold for more. But buying it here at 250, right into the 50-period, is not my cup of tea. If I zoom further, I can probably see the 200-period moving average, which gives you a really good upside shot. So yeah, if it keeps going, I think the 200-period moving average is the better target. But I like the risk to reward off the low because 230 was such a key level. My answer would be no, but I'm biased because that's where I bought it. It's entirely possible I'd give you a different answer if I didn't actually just buy the stock.
Yeah, you're looking at that NVIDIA. I'm looking at some of these names as well. I'm just like, okay, well, Google I had on watch. I kind of missed the short as well. NVIDIA is just kind of chopping sideways. 167 is showing up once again, man. That 167 has a bit of resistance, kind of a sandwich between 167 and 166 since 12 o'clock. So we haven't gone anywhere on NVIDIA since about 12 o'clock. Google is ripping to the upside right now. So yeah, I kind of was getting a little bit of FOMO here because I'm like, I'm not short and it's below VWAP and I liked it right here at the 335. I did get short right here at the 335. This was during the midday session here, and it comes all the way to 233s. Don't really have anything there, but the long or the bid is coming in pretty aggressively as of right now, coming into the close. We know that Google is at all-time highs, and it's been pushing fresh prices pretty much every day for the past, I guess, week or so, or the past few days there since earnings gap up push. I think today is day 3 or day 4, if I am not mistaken, something like that. I don't really. Hold on, we'll just check the chart. The chart, I usually just depend on the chart right there. So today's day 3. Today's day 3 on the Alphabet. Not earnings, but the change of sentiment, the situational change, if you want to call it.
Yeah, it's the antitrust ruling.
That's why I didn't when I went back home, I was just like, and doing some of my reviews, I'm like, this trade on Google, this gap up push, is a situational change trade, which is confluencing with another trade that's already been happening, the 200 breakout that we saw, the 198 shelf breakout, which was a technical push, and now you have a confluence of, a fundamental, not necessarily a fundamental change, but a situational change, in my opinion, where things were expected to change up, things were a little speculative, and now things are a little bit more clear of like, okay, they don't have to sell off, chunks of their company. They can definitely keep that and continue to build on that, and that kind of buying coming right back in on Google, which had already been trending up anyways, but it was a little muted, right? We were all like, why is Google down here? Why is Google down here? It doesn't deserve to be down here. We all saw the mispricing. We, as traders, we were like, this is definitely mispriced.
It's the cheapest Mag 7 name for the longest time. And the funny thing was, as you said, the change in sentiment, here's the chart of Alphabet. And when everyone's like, this is too far down, and even as it was rebounding, it's like it's too far down, and it was very distinct, the channel it was in. Very clean channel, and it was right somewhere, it's right in July. We just got flats on NVIDIA. I'll get there in a quick little second. AMD is so much weaker than NVIDIA. It was right about here in mid-July when it started to accelerate and showed you that we're not going into the bottom end of support, and when this broke out, it was twofold. Like, it's on news, but it's technical gold. Like, it's breaking the all-time high, holding 200, and breaking the top end of this channel. All of those things happening at once. And now you've seen the acceleration in this name. But I'll just quickly go show you guys with 2 minutes to go till the imbalances. NVIDIA, my stop to break even. Like, NVIDIA fell, what was that, 25 pennies. AMD, it's dropped $1. AMD, ooh, that's an ominous number. It was just down the mark of the beast there. That's not good. AMD, this is rough. This is rough. Absolutely rough. Gonna be almost down 7% and doing everything it can to close on the lows at this point into a market that is not closing on the lows. And this was all due to, if you're just tuning in, Broadcom taking aim in terms of competition with NVIDIA. And NVIDIA and AMD have been weak since the jump. Like, when we got the 830 bounce, those two names did not participate, and NVIDIA is taking less of the brunt, let's just say, than AMD. It's now it's like 2.5 times the move downside on AMD than NVIDIA, and Broadcom, for what it's worth, has held on to the lows. That's about it. It's still up 9%, but it filled in the move from the pre-market. And now we have to be worried about this filling in the gap on Monday. That's going to be a big level. Can it hold on to this 331 that it made the lows? And that's a big one. Reza, good question. We've been talking about this all afternoon. Any forecast of S&P inclusion? The betting markets have Robinhood, AppLovin, Carvana, and MicroStrategy, and then LNG, Cheniere. Like, those are the top 5. So those are the most likely to get inclusion. I don't know which one it's going to be. I've kind of felt Robinhood's at the top of the list. They've done enough fintech without putting Robinhood in, so it wouldn't surprise me if they went another direction here. But we just don't know. We'll find out for sure. On the off chance that they actually report it within 30 minutes of the market closing, you'll find it on the market recap show. Well, oftentimes it's a little bit later than that, but there's always a lot of drama and a lot of fun in the market recap show. You can ask any questions you want and load those up. Get ready. We're going to have Steve Talman on. If you have questions for Steve, then let us know. We'll make sure we get those to him. But 10 seconds, and we are about to get the imbalances. So we'll see. You know, sometimes they're big on a Friday. You have no idea. There might be a little something. Okay, here we go. TLT again. So the 20-year Treasury, 3.3 million to buy. Probably doesn't move it there. BAC, 2 million to the buy side. HBAN, 1.8 million to sell. Kenvue's a small sell, 1.5. Tesla, 1.1 million to the buy side. That's not nothing. Foot Locker is a small sell, only 900,000. UiPath is 900,000 to the buy side. It's not that big for Foot Locker, but a million shares for Tesla is a pretty sizable number. You just saw Tesla jump $1.50. Remember, imbalances, they tend to pair off. That's the entire purpose that they're there. And especially at 355, you got to pay attention because that's when you could see this one pair off. So currently a million shares there on Tesla. The overall market is only 750 million buy. That's pretty small. Nasdaq 164, Mag 758 million. So the overall imbalances are a nothing burger. It's really just Tesla here at the 1.1 million for sure. And so not that crazy. Tesla's trying to hold 350 and help Elon get paid, right? It's got some aggressive targets for Elon to hit that possible trillion compensation. Good start because they're up 3 points today.
Yeah, I think that's what the push in the morning was on Tesla. I was wondering what that pre-market spike was. I'm like, there's some sort of event obviously happened, and I guess that was it. And it's interesting. The market liked it. I guess you know what I mean. And it's forward-looking. It makes a lot of sense. It's just like it's good for Tesla stockholders, I think, because basically what he's saying is like, I can take this company to 8 trillion.
Yeah. And
it's not there right now.
He's incentivized to do it and motivated. And definitely, so if that doesn't motivate you, then nothing will.
Exactly, and it's like, and he has strong motivation as well. Well, he's going to get $1 trillion, which he can use to kind of build more companies and do other things that he wants to do with it.
Mine an asteroid. Get us to the moon.
Yeah, I can't wait till we start mining asteroids. That's going to be
game over, man.
Oh yeah, that's going to be.
Yeah, but
once we find an asteroid that's somewhat feasible, and some trillionaire is going to be like, all right,
There's a problem with this. This is where the economics degree comes in.
Yes.
The sheer volume of resources
required.
No, the sheer volume of resources that you would get from mining a single asteroid potentially would break a lot of things in the world.
Oh yeah. 100% it would break them. 100%. But here's the thing, it's just,
it'd be a problem.
It would break a lot of systems for sure. 100% it will. Because like rare earth, minerals, stuff like that, we're going to start getting like, there'll come a time where it'll become like surplus, right?
Oh, what's here?
Gotta keep an eye on some of these imbalances here as well. But nothing too crazy here on the Nasdaq that I'm seeing. But shout out to the first man or woman who kind of initiates that push. We're already seeing rockets that are very efficient at doing low suborbit.
We can already land on asteroids, man. We don't have to worry. Like that can be done. It's it's like putting the next step out there, and then we're. Then they get out of hand. Just a good point there. Someone in the chat was like, MU was ripping. Micron, we forgot about Micron is the strongest of the chip names today. I mean, I know Broadcom's up a bigger percentage, but Micron has not stopped going up. It's just been going, and obviously going. Which one, Andre? Because this one's going absolutely nuts. With 2 minutes to go until the imbalances potentially flip, I can tell you, Tesla, I don't even see Tesla. There it is. Still 1 million. Apple is a sell now of 1.2 million. That was not there before. So this was not I didn't see it on the list over 1 million shares, but it's there now. Foot Locker is still disappointing. Amazon, 700,000 to the sell side. So you've had a few sells pop in here that could be causing a slight rollback in the Qs. Not huge, but it was mostly buy imbalances, but we're now getting a little bit of sell action going in here. But I want to give a big shout out to Trade the Pool because let's be real. We talked about this before. Everyone seems to think that to make more and grow, you got to risk more. Well, that's how it used to be because Trade the Pool's changing that. It's the new revolution in stock trading. You don't need a large deposit. You can take, well, this is built for any trader that wants to grow, but without anything putting on the line, you can take $47, a one-time evaluation fee at $47, and then that is your total risk. And from there, you can trade real shares, no CFDs, using company capital. Head to tradethepool.com or scan the QR code you see on the screen and take a shot. I want to thank them for sponsoring this segment of the show.
Thank you.
About 5 minutes to go. That means I bet you these are going to pair. Apple's still 1 million to the sell side. NVIDIA is gone. Tesla's still there, 1 million to the buy side. And right on cue, you see both of them pair off instantly. So what did Tesla do in that moment? Well, what did Tesla do in that moment?
Tesla.
Not much. It kind of held forth. So it paired off, but then kind of kept on going higher. Apple wasn't doing a heck of a lot before that. What is Apple saying to us? Apple got a bid, so Apple was a sell and bounce, and then turned into a buy, and there's the bounce on Apple. That's what you would expect. But that Micron move, Micron.
With
Through the high of the
imbalance?
day, up 5.5%. You haven't seen Micron start today?
I've seen Micron today, but I haven't seen it off of the imbalance. Oh my God, that's a 3-minute chart. Oh
That's a little loud.
I thought that was a daily chart for a second. I was like, I know it's been running, but oh boy. Yeah, a little bit of a strong bid here. We talked about some of these chips being distinctly different from the rest, and both Micron and then the other one was TSM as well. TSM also nice little push to the upside here on TSM as well. So yeah, nice little shake and bake happening within the chip sector here. We know that SMH should probably be to the a little bit to the upside. I guess not. It kind of fell right back in later on in the day. Eh? I got to check what the constituents for this one was. I think SMH holds it holds something weird. I'm trying to remember right off the top of my head. I was like, because when I first searched up SMH, I was like, I was surprised that it was actually holding some of this. And I think it might have been.
What's surprising?
Was it No, it wasn't like a Berkshire thing.
No.
No, I don't think so. It was something weird. I'm trying to remember.
Really? In the SMH?
Yeah, Analog Devices, Micron, TXN, Texas Instruments. So, okay, so the top 10 holdings of SMH, I have them right here. Just Yahoo Finance. They are NVIDIA, TSM, AVGO, AMD, LRCX might have been the one. Lam Research. I was like,
you know what they do?
I have no idea. I think they're part of the chip.
They make the machines that make the chips.
Yeah.
So their customers are all the fabs, right? So they sell chips. Anybody that's fabricating chips would be buying equipment from them. Same thing with ASML. ASML does the same thing. And
Texas Instruments.
AMAT's not a top 10, but AMAT's in the same business. So like those are kind of like the bigger names for sure. What else we got here? There's only 2.5 minutes to go. Oh, I should probably go to the desk at some point. I have to get ready. We got the market recap show to do. It'll be a fun one. Always got to thank Obi for stepping in for Sean. Also, not just stepping in for Sean, but stepping in for Joe. Because Joey Options had a wedding to go to.
Yes.
In Uxbridge.
Yes.
Uxbridge. So hopefully he's having a good time. I know Sean will be at a baseball diamond and doing the family thing. That's what it's all about for sure. And that's right, Ron Shop. It's week 1 of football. We put half of our entries in the suicide on Philly, who won. The other half is on the Broncos. I think they should be able to handle the Titans and a rookie quarterback. I have mixed feelings about tonight because I'm starting Patrick Mahomes and Xavier Worthy for the Chiefs. And I'm also starting the Chiefs. I'm not starting the Chiefs defense, I don't think. I kind of am cheering for them, but you know how I really feel. I don't want them to win. So go LA, I suppose. Go Chargers. And the Bills will handle business on Sunday night. But I got to get up to the desk because the market recap show is only a minute and a half away.
Great show, Neil. Thank you once again. Hopefully you guys had an awesome day here and an awesome week. Things are changing around the studio. Studio 8 is almost at fruition. Already sitting at the newer desks here, looking good. I think it's coming along pretty nicely. In terms of imbalances going into the last minute, I honestly don't see anything too crazy, and I'm not going to participate in anything too crazy. I know that there are some things I do want to keep watching, and I don't necessarily have them right now, but I'm going to continue watching those right now as well. So Google was nice. Off of the open, strong bid there. This was the trade that I had. What did I trade today? So only Google and AVGO. You guys know that. My list is not that extensive. More often than not, I pick a couple of names and I'm just like, all right, I'm going to throw most of my eggs into this basket here. So Google got a little lucky with that market reversion all the way back in. Didn't really stick around for the second time it gave us that fade from 335s. Just yet, but yeah, nice little push down to 333s, but pulling back into 335. So next week, I'm going to continue to look for fresh highs on Google. Google is showing us that it can hold structure higher and higher day after day after that strong push. So I'm going to respect that. The market, on the other hand, we gotta be a little bit different. But 3, 2, and 1. Thank you very much for the bell. Brought to you by VinFast. The VFS is their ticker. On the Nasdaq, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, solid day here. A lot of opportunities. Maybe I want to talk about 2 other names here while we let Neil get ready for the after hour show. So I hope you guys are going nowhere because we got Adara and Neil covering the after hours market recap show as well. So AVGO, oh boy, did I had conviction on the short off of the open, especially after the craziness that it did coming into the open, that nice little wipe up into 356s, 357s. And I was like, this has done a lot of buying in the after hours, in the pre-market, and coming into the open as well. I want to do some selling. So that's pretty much the idea there. Didn't really hold on. I got short on that 350s. That was really nice. Fat finger cover, I think 46s, yeah, fat finger cover on 46s. So only caught $4 when this thing dropped almost $20 off of some of those highs. So bit of a miss on my part, hard fumble, but it is what it is. Gonna review some of the trades. I got myself into the trade that I wanted to, and I did well with the initial executions, but my exits were obviously fumbled. So I gotta recheck some of that. But other than that, I didn't really take any other trades. Hopefully you guys had an awesome, solid day today. Market craziness, a little bit of a shake and bake in the opening session, and a strong 200% reversion, even more than that, coming into the midday as well. I'll see you guys around. You guys stick around. We got the market recap with Neil and Adara. Have a good weekend, guys. See ya.
Thank you. The market recap show brought to you by Beta Pro by Globex starts right about now. And Adara's joining us in the light colored shirts. It wasn't just the two of us at the desk.
I kept making that joke today. I was like, we were the whatever color this is squad, all three of us.
Well, see, yours is white. This actually, on camera,
You're right, it
looks closer on camera than it really is.
I think this is the closest I've actually studied it, like not encumbered by a screen, so it's not white.
There you go. Well, I figure the summer's ending anyways, but the bull run ended really early this morning, that's for sure. Oh, yeah. I mean, to call it a free fall Friday is unfair because the market closed barely in the red, but it was the sentiment. We sat down to Broadcom blasting, it was like 14, 15% to the upside,
yes,
and it wasn't even about the earnings because it did nothing in the aftermarket yesterday. And then all of a sudden we got this mystery client for $10 billion, and Broadcom's up double digits and blasting on. I'm sure some traders did really well for this on Blue Ocean. If you look at the chart,
I'm sure.
Blue Ocean opened and it was just straight shot to the upside there. But the second 930 hit, anyone tell when the market opened? Yeah, the market opened and Broadcom just kept dropping and dropping and dropping, and that could be part of the reason that the Qs kept dropping and dropping, and it was a free fall morning on the Qs, and it was a nasty move in there for AMD and NVIDIA, more specifically AMD, that ended up down 6.5%. To NVIDIA's 2 3/4. So it was a tale of two cities for the chips because as we were talking about earlier, and we were back at the desk like just minutes ago, Micron was at its highs. Like they had a perfectly fine day. But specifically AMD and to a certain extent NVIDIA taking the brunt of the action with Broadcom looking to be competition for them. That wasn't the only thing moving around. It feels like forever ago because we didn't really talk too much about Lululemon. That closed only down 18.5%, not the 20 that it was in the pre-market.
Only 18.
But yeah, not the best look for them either. Kind of a rough day for a lot of stocks. But it's easy to forget. Lululemon probably had the best bid at 9:30.
Oh, yeah.
Of anything we're looking at, despite the fact that it's down 18.5%, closed near the lows.
Yes, that bid on Lulu was solid. You guys would have seen I had a short on Lulu. That did work, and then I cruelly got wicked out of it, and then was just, I ended up like flat on Lulu just because I retried it a couple times, which was, I think, valid, but either way, Lulu apparently did not want me there, so it's fine. You move on into the next trade. Yeah, I think that Lulu was really something. Another stock that was really weak that I was also, I think, trading midday, and I don't know if we talked about much, Coinbase.
No, we did not talk about
got
Coin.
destroyed. And I don't really know why, other than technicals, because we've talked about that 310 on Coinbase, I think, and that 310 on Coinbase was, I knew this was like one of the main things I was looking at in the morning, and that 310 came in instantly. So it was it was a good look here for COIN if you were short. It couldn't even saliently get back above that 300 level, and it faked it a couple times, but it couldn't hold it. We'll have to see. I honestly wasn't even expecting Coinbase to break 300 today, realistically. So, yeah, I mean, what a look. And just to clarify, too, this Coinbase move is outlier when you compare MSTR. Like, just let's look at that again. Yeah. This is MSTR. This is Coinbase.
Well, in fairness, for MSTR specifically, like a lot of crypto adjacent names didn't do very well today, but specifically MicroStrategy is one of the names that has a chance to be added to the S&P 500. I've seen a lot of people asking who's getting added to the S&P 500. Yes, we are finding out tonight what name, what stock is being added to the S&P 500, but we do not know yet, and we're not usually going to find out till, I think it's usually after 5 o'clock. So it's unlikely that we get an answer to that question during the market recap show. Certainly the current, I pulled this up earlier, and just sort of this is, and Kalshi, it's not the exact question. It's kind of just who will be added this year. So you have to look through and sort of look at the, like it's interesting because I didn't see AppLovin this high, but like the names of interest, I don't know about Viva, but AppLovin, Robinhood, Carvana, Cheniere, MicroStrategy, Flutter, Cheniere Energy, that's LNG.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so those are the names that are the most likely. Like it'll be like the betting markets aren't going to have it so wrong that it's not a name on this list. So it's kind of all the usual suspects. I think it's the first time I've heard LNG get thrown into that list, but certainly we're going to find out one. MSTR. A few people really like MSTR for inclusion. I don't see it, but who knows? It's entirely possible that we see MicroStrategy get the ad. Robinhood did not have a very good day, and whether this was, look, maybe people are thinking, whatever, they're not going to get added again. Most of it, I think, was if you were a growth stock, once we had that turn in sentiment, you had no chance this morning. And so Robinhood, like a lot of other things, had no chance. You know, these charts all look the same. It didn't matter what sector you're in. Like Robinhood's chart is going to look like Palantir's chart in the morning. It didn't matter. It's almost exactly the carbon copy on the way down. If you were under pressure, you just couldn't catch any kind of a bid. And Darwin, I'm with you. I think it'll be after 5 o'clock that we find. Pelican thinks it's most likely MSTR in the chat here for sure. And
so they've given us surprises lately, though. Like I don't think Datadog was highly favored. I really don't think that TTD or XYZ. I only laughed because that one was so random.
That was the most random.
Yeah.
The others were all at least in like the top 5 of what you might
was
think.
A little
people have been talking about at least I'd heard the idea of Trade Desk. I don't recall hearing anybody say anything about Block.
No, I legit thought I was being punked when I read that. I'm not lying. Datadog makes sense, but I hadn't heard anything about that either. But yeah, I do think like AppLovin, honestly, this poor stock, I think honestly it stopped caring about the fact that it's not being added to the index anymore. Remember the first time it was like, Sean, did that would be back in November 24? It like tanked 14%. Like it gapped down 14% because it wasn't added to the index. Now it like ploop and then comes back up. So the reason I say that is because, Neil, if the market has indeed given up on the idea of AppLovin getting some lovin' from the S&P 500, if we do get added, I think that would be a massive buying opportunity. And they are near all-time highs.
It is
I'm not
right
giving
at
advice,
the
I'm just opining.
Well, the only problem I have with it is just remember what usually happens. You get the gap, and then you fill in the gap. Because that's what usually happens. I think we saw that. We've seen that time and time again. But AppLovin is right at those highs, so it could be any one of them. I think you can always make a case. You don't get on the short list if you can't make a case for it. Let's be real. So it's not as if any of those don't get don't have a reasonable shot. But a name that will not be added to the index. Well, you know, I should really start thinking, a name that has no chance to be added to the index. Like SoFi is not going to get added. That got beat up in today. It was just more of a fintech kind of story overall. But the other thing to keep in mind is we saw a lot of strength this week in Alphabet. Like that, if there's one story, you know, probably a bigger story than anything else that happened this week, an individual stock story, would be the ruling that Alphabet would not have to divest Chrome, that they would not have to break up. It was just huge news, and the move that you've seen in Google, it's not just that it gapped, it's that it continued. Like it gapped through all-time highs. And then it's just been buy, and it's had relative strength. Even on a day like today, where you saw the weakness in the market and pretty much everything came back, Alphabet came in, held the morning range, and then closed on the highs. That's a sign of strength. It almost feels like this story has more legs. Even as it's breaking out, Alphabet is still cheap relative to the other Mag 7, as it's at new fresh all-time highs.
Yeah.
That's the scary thing about what could happen in this stock. And I think a lot of people who are buying this when it was a good value, it just goes that old adage. That's why you buy quality companies at a value, because then this can happen to you when the market tries to catch up.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting look there for GOGL. I think like the fact that they have that ruling, plus now apparently Trump's considering finding some way to make the EU pay Google and Apple back for fines. Question mark. I think that could be an interesting. I don't know if there's other things that have come of that. And again, I don't really know if Google cares that much about $3.5 billion, Trump. But I mean, we'll find out. I will say to NVIDIA on watch, the company made a statement here on, I guess, this proposed GAIN Act in the U.S. They said this bill apparently restricts or would restrict competition worldwide in any industry that uses mainstream computing chips. They said the bill is just a different version of the AI diffusion rule. So yeah, NVIDIA not liking these chips. I think NVIDIA's been a lot more active lately about trying to make sure that, you know, any attempts to make any kind of, you know, laws or acts or whatever that could stifle their independence, they're trying to stomp that out. And I think Jensen Huang has been a lot more vocal about that too as a CEO. So we're gonna have to wait and see if that's effective, but fair point. Let's find out.
And shout out to David. David in the chat. First of all, David, did you actually trade CoreWeave? I'm kind of curious about that. But thank you for the super chat here. Google is 15% of the long portfolio, pumping for years, twice a year for 2 decades. Thank you, Google. Congratulations to you. I don't have the congratulations button, but well done, sir. It's a good company, and all you got to do is find a few good companies and hold on to them to the best of your abilities and buy the dips. You know, buy the dips when you think they're going to be good. And to the extent that, you know, just going right back. I was going to talk about Lulu, but that kind of stinks, so let's ignore that for a second. Yeah, Lulu's not fun to discuss because it just absolute rug, down 18%. But when we look at the dip on NVIDIA, remember a few things. NVIDIA, cheaper PE. It's a cheaper PE than half, much cheaper than AMD, cheaper than a bunch of the Mag 7. Yes, it just lost the 50-period moving average, but anytime I see a stock like this under the 50, it's a matter of like, where do I want to buy it? And I started early. I think I bought the first time in March. I was sitting in spring training, watching a game in the sun. It was absolutely gorgeous. And because I'm a loser, I had my phone out. I shouldn't have my phone out when I'm watching spring training because I was like, I wonder what's happening in the market. And I casually, in between innings, checked. And everything was getting rugged. It was just a huge rug day. I'm like, oh, I got to buy some stuff here. So I got in, and I bought the Qs, and I bought Meta, and I bought NVIDIA. Just because, what are the first 3 things I wanted to buy? So I bought those 3 things and really wish I had just leveraged into more, but at the end of the day, I think we could be in a pullback into some prior highs. If I see a 150 on NVIDIA, I know I'm a buyer. I know that for sure. Absolutely going to be a buyer on NVIDIA. And this could be the kind of news that gets us that turn. And the other thing we have to think about is what's the market reaction going to be to the Fed in 2 weeks? Because we got to change Adara that we went from 100% shot of a quarter point to 10% chance now of a 50 basis point cut because of the strong labor number. 50 basis point cut often is the market's going to read that as panic. And that's not always a good thing. You think rates.
Well, that happened last year, yeah.
Yeah, sometimes that whole, you drop in 50 because you're late and you're panicking and it's not good for the economy, and then everything can fall based on that. So that's a bit of the concern, I think, for the market today.
Yeah, also, I think that the Trump meeting, the Trump announcement just began. Yeah, there he is. He's at his desk. Let's go. It is definitely Defense Department related because I see Pete Hegseth standing next to him.
Yep.
I'll provide coverage on that, of course, as it goes, specifically if it's market related or just kind of amusing. But I will say to what your point was there with regards to the rates, I think that the Fed still does not seem to think they're ready to cut. Fed's Goolsbee today was actually shockingly hawkish, saying that apparently they're still at full employment. According to Goolsbee, he's not even decided if he wants to cut at all. In September, he says he's still open. And I think the issue is there are still inflationary concerns, even with the job numbers being how they are. So they're saying that, yes, it is a dual mandate, but part of that dual mandate is inflation. So we'll have to wait and find out. I actually think this could get really spicy. We know we had the first time in 30 years where we had 2 Fed members dissent. I expect we might get more than 2 at the next meeting, depending on who votes. I know Fed's daily has been not dovish necessarily, but a little bit more cautious with regards to holding rates. We're going to have to see what the changes are. Right now, we do have people talking who are not Donald Trump at this event. I will cover this as I get information.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. And this is what makes it exciting as a trader, is anytime you have any uncertainty, whether it's quarter or half or none, if we're not 100% certain which direction we're going and we're a couple of weeks out, not even that anymore, then it gets very, very spicy as a trader. When it's baked in and everyone knows exactly what we're going to get, it's pretty much, the moves are a little bit more muted, and we like the excitement. That said, sometimes people don't like the volatility for the long term, but that's why it's a long-term account for a trader. I think we want to see a little bit of action, a little bit of opportunity out there. And I do see like a few people in the chat. Everyone's got their own opinions, man. I tend to think, how could they ignore what's going on in the labor market? You've got to cut something at this particular point. Like, there's been enough of a slowing of inflation. We keep hearing more and more about when inflation effects are going to come in from the tariffs, and it just hasn't happened yet. But you're looking at the labor market showing you something. And as I said earlier, one of the old things that I'm always aware of is when there's cracks in the labor market, it goes from 0 to 100 pretty fast.
Yeah.
And most times, once you start to see the weakness, firms, when they see possible recession, possible slowing, they cut workforce fast because they're very reactionary in that regard. So it'll look a little weak, and then it'll look very weak, and then it's too late. And I think that's why you get a lot of people saying, well, they can't sit on their hands for this one. And plus, remember, Powell himself really hinted that we're going to get something. And I lean into that. Powell changed his tone. We've been at over 90% ever since. But I think we're going to get a cut. Yeah. Probably still that quarter point is going to be the way to go.
I don't think we get a 50. No, not at all. Yeah. But we'll see.
Yeah, I'm not thinking it's going to be that 50.
I think the quarter is possible, but I don't think it's guaranteed. Especially given, I'm just being honest here. I'm not saying like, oh, no, but I'm just honestly based on, because I look at all the Fed comments, right? There are a lot more, I would say, that are leaning hawkish than those that are leaning dovish. The only 2 who have actively been, really the only one that's actively been dovish is Waller.
Yeah.
And then Bowman has been dovish-esque as well, but not to the extent of Waller. And then Powell indicated maybe. So the point I'm trying to make here, guys, is at least 9 of these Feds are maybe not hard on the side of dovishness. And really quickly, before we go to our special guest, I want to mention as well another aspect here. We might get the confirmation of the new Fed, Stephen Myron. If we get that confirmation, that is worth noting as well.
We know which way he's going.
He said he's not going to do that during his confirmation hearing.
Yeah, okay.
But we'll find out.
Yeah, come on. He has to say that. So this is what you expect to say.
It was really exciting hearing.
It's like asking an athlete, like, do you think you're going to win the game tonight? Well, what do you think they're going to say? What is he going to say? No, I'm not. I haven't predetermined what I'm going to do, but I'm appointed by Trump. I'm going to do what he wants. But we got to get to it because we got some trader talk. I know Steve is waiting, and it's almost 4:20 already, so let's get Steve on here for a little trader talk. Oh, no, my button doesn't work. There he is, Steve Talman. Yeah, I don't know what's going on. My little button doesn't work. We can do the trader talk, and it's all exciting. But first off, how was your week, Steve? I hope the markets have been treating you well.
Oh, thank you. Good to be on. It's been a fun week. We've got some explosive moves here. That reversal to SPY really set the stage for a lot of breakouts and a lot of sectors setting up as well. So I've been having fun. I don't know about you. Was it a good week for you?
Oh, yeah, it was a good week. We got some shorts today, which was the moves this morning where if you caught anything to the south side or caught some of those breakouts, the volatility in the first 30 minutes, you could have made your entire day in either direction to be in perfect fairness. Like there were some strong stocks. Tesla was strong this morning before a reversal. But a couple of questions for you. One, with this, we were just sort of talking about rates. With this now chance of a 50 basis point cut, like right off the bat, like I want to know what your thoughts are for what this means for like the Russell, IWM there, how you might be positioning going into that. And then the other thing is, did you participate in any of the American Eagle love this week?
Let's see. First off, with American Eagle, unfortunately, I did not participate. What a powerful move. I saw flow on the 19C leaps, and I did not nibble. So next time I probably will. Crazy powerful move. And the most interesting thing to me about it is the stratification within the retail sector. So we saw that happening, and then we see Lulu on the other side of the spectrum. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Something to watch.
Lulu got destroyed. It's like, oh my goodness. If ever there was a company, just do what everyone else is doing, go sign somebody sign some kind of an influencer and see if you can't make some magic out of it, because down 18% today, not a very good look. But just jumping right back into the small caps, I just want to get your thoughts on the IWM where we head, just in a general sense, or maybe just forget about that. It could just be wherever you're positioning yourself, because I think we've had a bit of a seed change this week. You saw the chips kind of shake themselves out with Broadcom, and now that we could get a 50 basis point cut, certainly there's been a bit of a shaking of the tree here to change things from how we were last time we talked.
Absolutely. So that was more important of those two questions. So let's talk about it. The 50 basis point cut, I think it makes a lot of sense based on what we've been seeing in the strength in these rate sensitive names. So sectors like solar looking very constructive. I'm watching FSLR in particular there. We've been participating in the KRE rally. That's looking really strong. And a lot of software as a service names are starting to really go. So for us, U is looking great, Unity, as well as IoT. So I think that this trend is going to continue until we have reason for any sell. That being said, with these sectors that are so heavily shorted, like IWM, I am kind of on the edge of my seat for any potential flow change and directional change, a potential selling of the news when we actually get the cuts. That being said, I want to be bullish. These charts look good long term, and we're getting the catalyst we need. So I'm cautiously optimistic here.
Yeah, like when I look at specifically for FSLR, like it's in an uptrend, and really when you look at it, it's kind of got this, technical analysis, which I'm not one, would say it's kind of like a W pattern. When you look at the potential for where this could go, it doesn't feel like it's really slowing down, and it's a very good channel. You got the strongest, the group has not been very good, let's be real. You got one of the strongest names in the group, if not the best one. I'm just curious, because we still have some time to go. Now, yes, we're riding the trend here. Do you think it's a sell? Let's just imagine we get the 10% chance you get a 50 basis point cut, not a quarter. Is that something you'd sell into, or you're just like, okay, well, now we're all systems go holding, and then what would be your answer if we get as expected, which is a quarter point? Or is it even the same? You don't even care?
Honestly, I think it's the same for me, because in both situations, the setup is there. I've defined my risk, and I want to have some money working for me in case this theme does see continuation. So for me, whether we get 50, whether we get 25, I want to have some money on the table. That being said, going into this, I'll probably trim, but I'm a primarily technical trader, so I will trim when it hits my level or when there's any uncertainty, going forward there. That's kind of my outlook.
I got you. So I want to try to put you on the spot for something here, because I always love doing this. And I know this is not necessarily, I don't think have we ever once talked about Google? I don't think we have. Pretty sure we haven't. But on the off chance that we have, apologies if I don't remember. But this is one of the ones that always gets me. Because I never have blue sky strategies and setups. I don't use fibs and all this stuff. And I've probably said that before on the show. As a day trader, well, when stock is doing what Alphabet is doing, it's like, well, you just find the long because it's trending up. Right? That's fine. Like each day, you just look for a long opportunity, you try to grab it. But when something goes this parabolic, and then today with the dump off that we have manages to close on the highs, it's just so strong relative to its peers, and it's got positive news. I mean, they're talking about potentially now make the fine even smaller than what they got, and they don't have to break up. What would you do technically with a stock like this? Because outside of day trading into the long side, I find no one. It's difficult to find anyone that wants to buy it up here when, if you look at the EPS, fundamentally, it would be telling you it's still a buy. So what are your thoughts briefly on Alphabet? Do you own it? Would you buy it up here? What would be your approach?
Absolutely. So we did talk about this, but it was months and months ago now. Okay. So I don't blame you at all for forgetting. I'm a massive Google bull. This was the first mega cap I bought on the crash. I'm incredibly highly confident that once it reclaimed this previous high on the crash, so that's the 2001 high, that we were seeing a cup and handle type pattern form. And so for me, I'm a big fibs guy whenever I see these blue sky setups. So our target since initiation has always been this 220 level, which we just smashed. So now I'm looking for the next one up. It's showing strength through the 1.72 fib, which is tends to be where trends will reverse if the breakout is not real. If the breakout holds and finds price acceptance over this 1.27, then we always look for the 1.62. And so 250, nice and even. That's where I'm holding Google till.
Oh, I like the answer. And by the way, feel free. You don't have to be like, oh, I forgive you for forgetting. No. You can call me out for having a bad memory. Everyone else does on the show. I'm getting up in age and all that. So, young men like you who still have a perfect memory, that's perfect. It's absolutely fine. And you know what? And again, this is the reason we bring guests on like Steve and why we have such a great community, because I don't use Fibonacci's. And so oftentimes, I'll find myself, if I'm in a long swing that's breaking into all-time high or breaking all-time highs, I'll just throw a trailing stop on a trend or something like that, or use a moving average, just very basic stuff as to where I might hold on a pullback. But I don't usually have targets in mind, which is the other side of it. I know you're using Fibonacci's. And we get so many questions about Alphabet when it's this relatively strong. I wanted to make sure we got that. So thank you so much for going over Alphabet. I'm glad to hear. It's even better that, hey, it's one of the holdings you're in love with, and it's the strongest thing we got going in the broader market. So congratulations for that. And we only have a couple of minutes to go, so I want to make sure, is there something that's on your mind? If there's a name that is of interest, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, or maybe it's setting up for next week and we're getting out of earnings season and wrapping it up and heading toward more with the Fed decision, which will be more important. But what's a name or two that's on your mind that we haven't talked about?
Absolutely. I'd like to just segue this from the Google, because my whole thesis on Google was the regulatory risks, the lawsuit stuff. That one's it's gonna be a nothing burger, more or less. And more importantly, we should see an outperformance of software over hardware as tariff implications start shaking out. And obviously, if tariffs are reverted, no problem there. But if so, we are seeing this trend where I put on a long Google short Apple trade, and that's been doing very well. I think software is the next place to look, especially I'm looking at SNSR. That's the Internet of Things ETF. And the leading name in that basket, which just broke out, was IoT. So I'm watching those next week with an honorable mention for healthcare, because I think I'm in OSCR. I think that one looks amazing. I like OSCR and HNGE. Yeah, sorry, that's a lot to throw at you.
No, Oscar's a popular one here. I know Sean happens to be in that one as well. That's very popular. The healthcare has been making a good bounce. It just UNH also, it's getting some legs under it again. That one, everyone seems to want that one to go the most. It has a chance. It had a good day today. I think it has a chance. But SNSR, that's a new one. I want to thank you for bringing that one up. And I look at the chart. I love when I see a chart and it's just an instant agreement. Oh yeah. I mean, look, you don't have to be a market technician to see a significant top and a potential breakout. So Internet of Things ETF, that's a good one there, SNSR. See, that's the thing, Steve. We'll put you on the spot with Alphabet, and then you already have something for us there, and you're long in, you give us some great ideas, and then you bring a couple of names at us. Now, Oscar is one that's definitely, I know a lot of our viewers find that one as popular, but the Internet of Things ETF, SNSR, we'll track that one for next week. Steve, it's always a pleasure having you. Steve Talman, analyst from Trade the Pool, our friends over at Trade the Pool. Can't wait to talk to you next week, and hopefully Google goes higher, Oscar goes higher, SNSR ASR and all these names go up because we love a bull market, a good bull market. Thank you so much for coming on, Steve.
Thank you so much, Neil. And just real quick, if anybody wants to stop by, we're doing a webinar on long-term cyclical bottoms and identifying those. So there's a lot of those out there, like XBI. So come on in. We're starting in 10 minutes over at Trade the Pool's YouTube channel. Thanks so much.
Yeah, there you go. Check them out, our good friend Steve Talman and our friends over at Trade the Pool. Give them all the love in the world. Have a fantastic weekend, Steve. We'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks so much. Take care.
All right, take care, brother. And there you go. Some interesting names. See, that's a new one, SNSR. That's actually an ETF that I've never really even looked at. And now I can throw that one on my radar. This is the best thing about our community, is that we have a lot of great trading minds that we can bring in, and we can all learn together. We can all grow together. We can bounce ideas off of each other. That's what it's all about. And Mike P. DeRider, we also get to have a lot of fun. I know you've been having fun in the chat. Thank you so much. He just says Trader TV is number one. That's a fact, Jack. See, you're keeping it clean this time. First of all, Mike, don't think that I didn't see you in the chat earlier getting a little bit excited. I know it was an accident, but keep it clean, brother. We don't want to have to blank anything out that you say. We love the energy for sure, and we appreciate you. And speaking of energy, what is it that we do around this time? It's energetic, fun, and a tradition.
I wonder.
It's roll call, everybody. You know it's roll call time, and that means get in the chat. Because if you want your name read during roll call by Adara, then you got to be in the chat. And to be in the chat, you have to hit the like and the subscribe. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It's a subs-only chat. We'll jump in here. We'll give a big shout out to Obi, who's doing double duty today. Not just filling in for Sean, but filling in for Joe. And also
featuring other Joe.
Featuring other Joe. He's sitting with other Joe, who, by the way, for anyone that doesn't know this, Joe sitting next to Obi was called Jose by almost all of the traders on the floor. To the point that it wasn't until like a year after I met him.
It was 2024.
Yeah, it was like
last Christmas. It was around December 20th.
I was like chatting with. He's like, by the way, my name is not Jose. It's like my name is Joe. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Because I was like, oh yeah, like I can't believe like it took me months to figure out his name wasn't Jose, and you were like, wait, what? And
I'm like, huh?
You knew. That's how it happened. I was like, that's wild.
How am I supposed to know if literally every trader calls him Jose?
Oh.
What up, Joe? Enjoy my seat. I like the plaid shirt there, but again, big thank you to Obi for filling in. Also for Joe, who was away, and big shout out to Sharif, big shout out to Adara, big shout out to Fabian, Ramin, and Andre, the entire team. Shout out to Mark, Randy, and Rob for getting us to the new desk with the big old screens there. An awesome, fantastic opportunity for us to grow the show here. So jump in that chat. It's roll call time, and a shout out to you, David. Thank you for the super chat. Buy Obi a drink donation. Obi, you got one on the house if you're going out this Friday. David just made sure of that. So thank you there, David. It's $5, bro. Get yourself. You can't even buy. No, I'm just joking. Nah. Oh, obviously, not the game you couldn't. But roll call time.
Yeah, thank you guys so much. I already saw Steve M in the chat saying they wanted to be called. Hello, Steve M. Hello, Denny Dollars. Hello, Sebastian. Mike Peter Ryder. Conrad Clark. Tim Adams. Sarah Evans. Stuck Trader. Others Zing. Jimmy Joe Smith. Mike Peter Ryder. Again, D. Westermeyer. Michael Burnett. Okie Kerr, Do the Wave, Neil Roberts in the chat. We have Grov, we have Elfe, Liana, Stuck Trader, Mitch Clark, Jacob, We Candles. I love that. I don't know what it means, but I like it. Evan, Carlos Briones, Yoshi, Trina P, Kristen Norman, Trevor Bucker, Do the Wave. I always want to say Do the Right Thing. I started to that movie.
Yeah, man.
Dylan Patel, Sebastian, that's not what I was referring to. David Trevias, William Chilson, Trading Arsenal. Thank you guys all for being here. Thank you, Neil. Thank you, Sharif. Thank you, Opie, thank you, Joe and Sean. Thank you, Fabian, Ramin, Andre. Thank you, Brendan. And thank you, chat, for being here. So happy to be here. And it was a pleasure to be on with you guys for an hour in the midday as well.
That's right. Get it, Adara, because you did triple duty today as well. Always a heck of a lot of fun here. And we get to do it all again next week, everybody. So rest up. Hopefully, if you're betting on NFL this weekend or just watching, your team wins. Hopefully, Buffalo wins on Sunday, so I don't have to hear about it from Raheem. Also, because I just want the Bills to win.
Oh, it's Ravens and Bills?
Ravens and Bills on Sunday night. So we didn't actually settle on something. Maybe I'll email Raheem and we can figure something out next time. So when the Bills are on, he can like get a humiliation or something. I don't know. I can make him wear a jersey or something like that. But I don't know if he owns a Baltimore Ravens one to be able to do the other side of that bet. Anyways, enjoy your weekend, everybody. We're Trader TV Live. The Market Recap Show has been brought to you by Beta Pro by GlobeX, and we'll see you Monday morning.